announce the Second Universal Council and Second Science Conferences, which will be held in Rome, March 27th through 31st, 2017. If you're interested in attending both or either conference, please go to www.keshfoundation.org and click on New Web Shop at the top of the homepage. You can attend the conferences as an audience member or participate as a science conference presenter. Presenters will be allocated 1 hour to present products and innovations in Kesh plasma technology in any of the following categories: space technology, health, materials, energy, agriculture, transportation, the environment, GANs and nanotech, and any other area that applies. Foundation distributors and manufacturers will be attending the conference, affording you the opportunity to build relationships to promote and market your products. The full package price for both conferences is €1,650 per person, which includes daily attendance to the conferences, 6-night stay in Rome, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the event. Accommodations for this package is based on double occupancy. Check-in on the 26th of March, check-out on the 1st of April. The full package price for 2 persons for both conferences is €3,300, which includes daily attendance for 2 persons, 6-night stay in Rome, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the conferences. Accommodations for this package include a twin room with a king-size bed. Check-in on the 26th of March, check-out on the 1st of April. You can stay additional nights if you wish at a cost of €175 per night per person. A single ticket for those who wish to only attend the Universal Council Conference, which takes place on the 27th and 28th, is €750, which includes the price of admission plus 2-night stay in Rome in a 2 single-bed room, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the event. Accommodations is based on double occupancy. Check-in on the 26th of March, check-out on the 29th. A 2-person ticket for those who wish to only attend the Universal Council Conference is €1,500, which includes the price of admission plus 2-night stay in Rome in a hotel room with a king-size bed, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the event. Accommodations is based on double occupancy. Check-in on the 26th of March, check-out on the 29th. A single ticket for those who wish to only attend the Universal Science Conference, which takes place on March 29th through March 31st, is €1,150, which includes the price of admission plus 4-night stay in Rome in a 2 single-bed room, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the event. Accommodations is based on double occupancy. Check-in on the 28th of March, check-out on the 1st of April. A 2-person ticket for those who wish to only attend the Universal Science Conference is €2,300, which includes the price of admission plus 4-night stay in Rome in a hotel room with a king-size bed, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the event. Accommodations are based on double occupancy. Check-in on the 28th of March, check-out on the 1st of April. If you would like to attend and prefer to make your own arrangements for accommodations, the price of admission to either conference is €200 per day. We look forward to meeting you at the Second Universal Science and Council Conferences in Rome, March 27th through 31st, 2017. The Kesh Foundation is extending an invitation to medical doctors of any practice and specialty to apply to the Foundation's private weekly medical teaching workshop. This includes medical doctors, dentists, and veterinarians. Scientists of the Kesh Foundation developed different types of plasma therapies and cures that utilize advanced, non-invasive plasma technology. The weekly private medical teaching workshop educates doctors to the plasma science behind the therapies, along with the functionality and operation of revolutionary plasma medical devices. The goal of the private teachings is to add plasma health knowledge to the profound knowledge of medical doctors. The weekly class is broadcast live over the internet through a secure private channel every Wednesday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central European Time. Presently, the class is only offered in English. However, you are free to bring a translator to the class. If you can't participate in the live broadcast, you can watch them later at your convenience through a private internet portal. Every patient's case that is discussed in the workshop will be kept anonymous and private. This includes cataloged findings and data gained from the analysis of the patient's health issues. Any medical doctor in the world who wants to participate can do so by sending an email to doctors@spaceshipinstitute.org. In your email, please state your willingness to participate in the medical teaching workshop. If you're planning on bringing a translator to the workshop, please state this in your email as well. After we receive your email, we will contact you with the instructions on how to apply to the workshop. As a part of the application process, applicants who apply, including any translators brought into the workshop, will be required to sign the Keshe Foundation's World Peace Treaty, which can be found at the following web address. All applicants will be required to provide proof of their education and ability to practice medicine, and will also be required to pass an extensive security background check before they are granted access to the teaching workshop. Healthful plasma technology is here, now, the use of which is increasing exponentially on a day-to-day basis on every continent. We encourage you to come and learn about this revolutionary technology. Apply today. The Keshe Foundation is extending an invitation to experienced farmers, agricultural specialists, and researchers to apply to the Foundation's private weekly agriculture teaching workshops. If you fall into one of these categories and are interested in plasma technology integration into agriculture, you're invited to apply. Scientists and agricultural practitioners of the Keshe Foundation continually develop and apply new methods of food and fiber production, soil fertility management, plant and livestock health management, and increased farm productivity using the most advanced plasma technology that is taught at the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. In the teaching workshop, you'll learn the science of plasma technology and its applications in the field of agriculture for enhanced and equitable global food production while minimizing costs and external inputs. Practicing farmers and Keshe Foundation scientists will demonstrate their application of plasma technology in agriculture and the ensuing results of such applications, thus deepening and enriching learning for all participants in the private teachings. Participants are encouraged to demonstrate their farming practices in the teaching workshop. The necessary, you may bring a translator to the workshop. All applications are required to provide proof of their education and professional qualifications, must pass a security background check, and are required to sign the Keshe Foundation's World Peace Treaty, which can be found at the following web address. Translators that attend must also pass a security check and sign the World Peace Treaty. For details on how to join the private teachings in agriculture, send an email to agriculture@kfssi.org stating that you'd like to participate. Include in the email your education and agricultural experience and reasons for your interest in plasma technology. Applicants will be contacted with further instructions and details on the application process.
Welcome everyone to the 159th Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And once again, we are here with Mr. Keshe of the Keshe Foundation. It's Thursday, February 15th, 2017. And we'll hear from the latest news from around the world in the realm of plasma. And I understand today we'll have some discussion on nano coding and other topics that Mr. Keshe will choose. Mr. Keshe, are you there? Ready to go?
Yes, good morning. Thank you very much, Rick. Good morning, good day to you. as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to these teachings. As you're all aware, we are moving into different directions. Some of us are learning about nanocoating, and some of us moved into the steps of further down in GANs, and some people have moved into production of the hydrogen for a space development. In the past week or so, we have seen production of two types of hydrogen in one experiment. It's getting validated further, which allows us to go in the next steps of fueling what we call the space reactors with monoatomic or monoplasmatic fuel, which this gives us a huge opportunity to do different experiments and validate different kind of work. As I said before, I have shared the knowledge of the creation of the atom or plasmatic, monoplasmatic hydrogen to two of our close what we call researchers, and we have seen some development. So as it goes, it's done in a specific way that we only get what we are looking for. We see that we get ready for the what we call the proper ways to do the space flight. As part of the same process we have explained before, the choice of Accra, and now that we have been given the premises to build the first spaceship, is what we call launch pad, brings huge opportunities to bring the scientists from around the world to do this. We are planning, and now we start bringing in what we call the architects and the designers and the developers for the design of the spaceship, what we call facilities in Accra. We have brought in some what we call architects to look and starting from next week or so, or beginning of the February, March, we'll start laying the first stones for the development of this site. The site will be exclusively for the work of the spaceship program, the space hospital, the space, what we call launch pads, and the facilities to be able to do indoor and open space outdoor launch. With the help of what we call most of the Keshe Foundation close collaborators, we are going into the next steps of literally bringing the spaceship program into reality of every aspects of the work. We are talking to different governments, we are working with different organizations that we get their inputs before the building. The structure we will build is to be one story block across the whole facility. The manufacturing and the factory will be part of it. The research and development will be part of it. The space launch pad, spaceship launch pad will be part of it, and the hospital will be part of it. We will be given more facilities if we need. We are in a position that there are large amount of land within the new, what we call the Atomic Commission secure military zone that we can use. This puts a huge pressure on us to start raising funds for the development. We are looking for support. First of all, those of you who have experience in making cores and understand the development, we call upon you on your own interest to join us in Accra to start building the first structures. We will facilitate both static and dynamic systems. We facilitate everything else. And having the factory near us, there will not be any shortage of what we call materials. We are launching from today a request to raise 250 million euros or dollars for building of the site. Keshe Foundation, through its own work, will meet most of this demand. If you want to be part of this or support the development and building of the site, you're quite welcome to join. We are looking for the first time donations for the foundation to build the site. What we have decided and will do is we put live cameras in different locations that people can see the build up, that they can monitor how it's happening and the way it's happening. We have to wait a couple of months maybe to start the final position of it. We've been told we have a free hand to build. There is no restriction on what we call the site, as long as we follow the regulations. Because in the position we are exempt and we are covered by a lot of protections of the governmental organization. This allows us a rapid development and building. Hopefully the first road layout will start in the first week of February. I put out this appeal for raising funds to build because this will belong to all the humanity. On the other hand, on the site, we build the first step of creating a permanent residence for the Universal Council. At the same time, on the same place, will facilitate the building of the World Council chamber. So as you understand, Keshe Foundation has reached the point. Building of the Universal Council meeting point, replacing the United Nations, and building up a one world government leadership with the 6 members of the World Council starts in 2 weeks' time. So we give it a permanent address, a permanent position, and then facility will be made for the council to have a what we call seafront position, that you do not need to reach the council with what we see the problems with United Nations today, that a government has to approve your entry to be able to enter United Nations, which is supposed to be a free land. These are all in pipeline, but as of February, first week of February, we lay down the first stones for what we call creation of Universal Council's permanent residence, the World Council Permanent Chamber. It is appropriate to be at the same site as the first, what we call the spaceship launch pad will be there. We carry out test and launch from the site. And as you know, Ghanaian government is the only government who has signed themselves into the peace treaty of themselves without anyone from outside. We showed this nation of peace round before January. So we have entered what we promised in 2017. There is a lot of work to be done. There is a management taking out the Keshe Foundation tomorrow that will discuss the steps to be done. I'm stepping down in from a lot of positions to be able to see what is this final point to be done, and you will see new people around the foundation who take the realm of running it. We already transferred the Keshe Foundation management on everything which is needed to be done to a new lady, and she's doing very well. She'll have to take the responsibility of carrying this out. My position is to see the what we call a Spaceship Institute with all the facilities for development of the space system, support of the space system, creation of Universal Council, and work of the World Council to be operational this year. We know this takes a lot of time. It's taken a long time to where we are, but for the first time, we have a position that we can build on, and we can support the building of other facilities through Accra. So in a way, Keshe Foundation Ghana becomes the center point of worldwide work of the Keshe Foundations in supporting in everything possible. We are working with governmental organizations, we are working with different authorities to see this through. And in the coming time, we have shown that this was one of the best solutions. The place of the what we call the Spaceship Institute in Accra will be the position where most of the flights, initial flights, public flights should take place. We have the fuel, we are getting in the dynamic reactors inside. It'll be with us next couple of weeks. And we start not only with the factory, but we start the research in the dynamic system flights, monoplasmatic fuel from Accra in next week, maximum month or so. We are training scientists to be able to do it, and this is the next step for us. So, as we said, we have a lot to discuss. They have to be done, and we have put and we are requesting for the worldwide support of the Keshe Foundation supporters to donate towards the building of the whole site, be it the Space Launch Pad, the Space Research Center, the World Council, the Universal Council, the factory, the hospital, and the rest of it. The Research Center will be one of the most powerful sections of the work. And we are talking and we will facilitate in time that the scientists on the banner of the Keshe Foundation will not require visa restriction. These are the things we'll take to set up. So if you are a Keshe Foundation supporters, you are in the dynamic reactors, you are in the agriculture side, we try to make it literally easy for you to get in. The reason we have chosen one story block, first of all, we have plenty of land. We can double the land and we have land in other position. Being on a flight site, you don't need to be up that it can be touched. So we have enough facilities to support one story block speed from every angle. We are not looking to stand out. We are looking to be practical, that we can do everything possible. One story block allows us to create rapid development. We can build huge structures flat in a matter of weeks. And that doesn't put pressure on us. In trying to become multi-story, we'll create problems in all sorts of directions, but this allows us to be very much practical and allowing to push forward with the development. We need and we will place in position brick factories on site, cement factory on site, that there is no need and restrictions. Everything else will be very much in line with what a space station should be. We need a lot of support. Ghana, in the technology of the space and the spaceship program, is very, very in infancy. So most of you who have tested different kind of dynamic systems, most of you who are testing flight systems, most of you who are doing anything in agriculture or whatever, you can come in, teach others across the world. We make a pan-world platform. It's not pan-African, it's not pan-European. So you can come in, teach, learn, and go. This is the plan. We are looking for those who can bring in the dimensions of the spaceship technology and dynamic system into Accra. We use Ghana as a center for excellence for spaceship technology. We have a government which is committed to peace. We have a nation which is peaceful. And with it, we bring the ethos of the Keshe Foundation as a world peace in one place. We have to understand this has taken a long time. This will take a long time to become what it should be. It will not be overnight. So from now on, the speed of the growth of the Spaceland, what we call the Spaceship Center, depends on how we get support and contributions from every aspect, scientifically, financially, structurally, in a way, in every way we need to develop this to a position of excellency. When it's become that, then we have moved on. I have to step down, once because of my health, secondly because in condition of the spaceship program, we need to bring new generations in. What we look at and what we see, the old generation, anybody over 30, 35 is old in this game. A new generation, by accident or by coincidence or by the development of the new technologies, have been brought up. We as what we call elder would not be able to tolerate months and years in deep space. We are used to ground, we are used to earth, we are used to other things. We could take excursions for a short time. Confinement of the spaceship is not for a lot of us. The new generation, what are called the computer boys, or children, girls, who spend a lot of time peacefully behind the computers and computer games, are and become the future of the space program, the spaceship program. We see change in behavior of our children through this new technology of what we call computer games. Some of them playing violent games that can be changed, but most of them play games and interact for hours on end, for days on end. They don't need anything else. They are in the world of existence of their own. And this is what's going to be in the space programs of future. How much research can you do? How much development can you make? We are looking and we are watching the generation of the spaceship children have already in the ages of up to 2025, because they've been brought up. They spend hours and hours, days behind these game consoles. Confinement of space needs this kind of passive mentality, that it doesn't lead to aggression. We are gradually seeing the development of the generation of the space people. People who can spend time, not necessarily computer games, but in a way developing the space technology in the same manner to move from electronic consoles into understanding of the structure of the brain and communication through it. We see them how they play on these consoles. We see them how they predict and perceive different dimensions, which gives them and allow them to think beyond the dimension of physicality, which is in the world of plasma and in the pole of the work of the universe. So the way we build up the Space Center is understanding for the future generation, which have already are in their infancy, but they have learned to take time. They have learned there is a confinement of space within the structure of the game in hand. We cannot export and put on every spaceship computer games and consoles and iPad and laptops. In the future, the next generation will learn the dimension of the communication the same way as we have taught, and will perceive the same kind of organization in the mental work. So, as you see, there is a lot to be done. We need those who understand control of behavior through peaceful ways. And we see this in the younger generation. Some which play violent games, we see where they go. We look for those who set their mind and they operate in a different direction. Somebody said, we are looking for girlish game. No, we are looking for peaceful games. Game life in the space. To be man of space needs a specific way of thinking, a specific way, mental understanding. Being serene, but being open-minded to every eventuality in space. In the new Space Center, we teach psychological, emotional pattern of control of the spaceship, of one's own being. As I said, once we set things up, we start working in the direction we should be, but at the same time, a lot are catching up. A lot of people are learning, a lot of people are teaching, but we have passed every step of developing different aspects. Now we are learning and teaching governments to go into a way of multi-application for what is needed here on Earth, But beyond it, with the building of this spaceship center, we teach the behavior, the ethos, the control of the spaceship system. Those of us who are in their 50s and 60s like me will have a harsh time, very hard time, to stay still in the confines of a spaceship for decades. We see our new generation, younger generation, can spend weeks and months behind the console. Peaceful, reach for a little bit of food, back on the console. Do something little, back on the console. Not being concerned in where they are. You can take them in the deep mine and leave them with what they need. They'll still be peaceful. You can leave them in the most luxurious homes. They'll still be the chair, the environment they have created for themselves where they are peaceful is the most important things for them. And then this is the generation which bring peaceful condition between man and the universal community. The extension of the program and the development of the Space Center here in Ghana is a breakthrough for man to understand himself more, how he'll behave in deep space. This will take time, but from what I see, the development of the monoplasma reactors, which are now getting developed, is on the position and will be for us to be able to launch every aspect of the technology. Still, we have to deal on the reality of what we are with governments, with cancer, and everything else. The next step for us in every aspect is to convert all the work into the work of a single monoplasma, which means anything can be done. This process might take a year, might take 2 years to convey across the way you all learn how to make nanomaterials, how you learned how to make gases, how you learn to make dynamic systems, and everything else. What we try to do, and it'll be done hopefully in the coming time, that all the works of the Spaceship Institute in Ghana will be continuously live on internet. Because we don't know how and where we might inspire somebody with something which can be beneficial to humanity in space or man on this planet. So what you will see is the intellectual growth in understanding the process of the deeper space. Let us look at what we're talking about. Let's go deeper in understanding how, as human race, we can condition ourselves into the man of a space. One of the problems we have is our own physicality. The limitation of the movement and the speed of movement due to the configuration of the physical body of the man. We got to understand how we can change this, how we can come to control this. Control of the physical structure is the key to the success of man's existence in deep space. Those of you who've been busy with building gases and nanomaterials and different gases, it's time for you to start playing and teaching, especially the young generation, how to interact, that they start understanding the position of the strength and the emotion in respect to change and physicality. Let me explain what this means. A lot of you have built gases, have made different type of gases. You have put them in different boxes and different containers, different spheres and the rest. In teachings of about a year, 2 years ago, we explained, even in the private teachings, that how you can use your energy or the energy of the emotion in creating motion. Moving a matter from emotion, which is very powerful, but a different strength, is very hard. One of the first things I would like, and it'll be done here, is for you to make gases of like zinc oxide. Make different type of zinc oxide. You all know how to do it. In one container with a normal connection. In one container with a higher voltage or amperage. Make 3 or 4 different kind of zinc oxide. Put the zinc oxide in a sphere or in a container where you can see different layers of it. Preferably use a sphere. Then start using different kind of emotion in yourself and see how possibly different layers of the gases in the sphere will interact, will move. In the past, man tried to move the matter by trying to force field itself. Now the gas of zinc, especially if you made the zinc from the materials of matter, not materials of matter, but materials of the matters which already have transformed into a gas through amino acid conversion, like zincs from different vegetables, different greens, different beans. These are the ones which you will see much faster interaction. Then try to see if you feel happy, which layer will respond. Try to see if you're sad, which layer will respond of the zinc. This way you start learning the interaction between fields of emotion and the fields of the gas. This is very much like the first time you go to school and they give you a pen and you draw the first lines that in the future lining is straight and curvature makes an A and B and C. This is the test to learn how to hold the pen of emotion. This way you learn how you do not need to have physical movement in your intention, but your emotion creates the physical motion of the gases or the structure of it. The structure of the body of the man is not made by physicality first. It's made by emotion that the physicality builds around it. So you do the same. You create the condition of the control of your own emotion, and you see if this layer moves when I feel happy, it means this is the strength of my emotion of happiness. Start to build these tools for the others to see. At the beginning it's exciting because now I feel it goes, it moves. Then you extend the arm without doing it through emotion. I want to reach. And you see how the gas changes structure of its presentation or the speed of the motion. This is how you start learning what I call emotional control. What I feel, it will respond. This is the key to the operation of zero-time communication and decision-making in space travel. Electronics are too cumbersome and they are not advanced enough. The world of computers today is literally at infancy, not even born, when you understand how you use the emotion for interaction and creation. Start understanding how you can put a physical structure around the emotional development. In the future, when you learn more, you will understand the center of the ball has a soul. Then you work in the future, in coming time, through the emotion of the soul, which this has a zero time across the universe. Those who have developed to this level understand what they've got to do. And for human race, we start with holding of the pen and see how we make a straight line or inclined angle line. This is the way which we have to go. Some of you are still interested in the shape of the nanomaterial, the structure of the gas. Those of you who have understood and developed, and what we will do up here is the people who can understand to control their physicality through their emotion and through the operation of their soul. Where they come in the land of aesthetic, in the space of dimensions of the universe, they create, through the protection of the soul, physical structure according to the environment. Now you understand the teaching of the space. Now you understand how we need to go in the next step now that we are building the spaceship center. You will not see computerized screen. What happens if it breaks? Do we have to come all the way back to Earth to get silicon and chip the design of it? We carry blueprints of every chip. Or we learn through the dimension of the emotion, the way you dream, the way your dream is visual, the way you see and touch and feel and taste become reality of the operation of the manifestation of the emotion and the soul in the dimension that you can allow people see your emotion, or you can hide it the way nobody sees your dream. In the space center which we build, computers will be in the back rooms where the interaction of the physical structure is created through the emotion of the man. Go back to our teachings. Many times I refer to. The time will come that will manifest in front of you the presence of blessed His name, the Christ. You each one see Him the way you preserve Him to be, according to your own emotion. And it'll be interesting when we put many Christians together and let them to play the game on the screen of life of plasma, in how each one sees blessed Christ through their emotion. Some will see Him black, some will see Him with blue eyes, some will see Him blonde, some will see Him short, some will see Him a giant. And then we'll see the reality of the collective awareness through this emotion. So when you come to become the man of space in the Spaceship Institute in Accra, you will come to a new dimension of understanding yourself and the operation of your soul better than you ever thought. Computers are too slow. Motors are irrelevant, worse than computers. But if you have created the containment of the emotion within a structure of different strength plasmas, you will find the core will take physical structure. This is the future, and this is what we have to learn. We have to learn how to adapt ourselves. On Earth, when we go to the North Pole, we wear a heavy coat, boots, and everything else. And when we go on the beach, we are happy with a bikini and a brief. In space, we cannot carry these clothes. We have to learn how through emotion to protect the skin of the man from the environment of the space. And this is the first step. Not to force the condition on the plasma, but to understand the interaction of your emotion with the plasma. This is the secret to the existence of the man in space. To understand the emotion of the environment, to understand the power of the environment which you exist in, and how you want to be in that environment. You enter space like Earth. Would you like to live on the surface of it? Would you like to live in the gaseous part of it? Would you like to live within the liquid environment of its ocean? Or would you like to live within the structure of the solid layer top as a caveman? Would you like to go into the center and live within the motion of the magma? Or would you like to live in the condition of the plasma within the center of the planet? The best testing ground for man is his own home. You have everything here to test what you might get in the space. Is the best incubator, is the best research center for man, for the new generations to have and be equipped that it can go into the acidic world of part of its structure of the planet, or go to the high temperature of the magma in a volcano, or to live on the upper layers where there is a monostructure of certain strength which is detached from the physicality of the part of the planet. So what you need and what we look into is to build everlasting balls of plasma. And then with this, create conditions of the structure if need be. And then through it, we learn that we do not need the physical structure of the ball, but we create balls of plasma through our emotion, which creates what we need at the point of need through our emotion, because our emotion works very much in interaction with the fields of the universe. So it knows its condition to be and what needs to be done. Then you find something very simple. The condition creates a peaceful creature. Because you are so busy in trying to sustain the beauties of the creation that everything else is irrelevant. Look at the structure of your brain and look at the structure of the physicality of your body. Have you seen your arm and leg and heart kicking each other? The internal structure of the body of man in collaboration and cooperation of the brain of the man, his soul and his emotion, is forever busy in containing itself, that it does not go out to damage. You don't see an arm sticking out, hitting somebody and going back in. This is what we have to learn. Learn that man in space can last millions of years through the existence of his soul. If the man is happy with a few decades of life on this planet, Man will stay. We don't expect the whole 7 billion to become the man of space. Very few will join us. Very, very few. Those who can go through the transition of understanding the operation of the emotion and can understand the needs of the space to be part of the space itself. I'm made man in the image of myself. I am what I am. I am the beginning. I am the end. This is what man will understand now that we start the true teaching of the operation of the space technology. You tested many cores, different speeds, different current flow to create different ganses, and now you understand all this has been for you to build the trust in the existence of yourselves, operation and control in the future of the space technology of the man in the space. Nothing more. Those who are busy with magraphs, stay busy with magraphs. As I said, man will take from this technology according to his own intelligence. So, those of you who work around the work of the plasma, those of you who went a step higher to find the mixture of the soul of the man and the emotion of the man, those of you in agriculture who went to find the emotion and the soul of the planets, strength of the fields, now you can build the houses of God, which is the sign of the creation, if you understood the totality of the knowledge. Those of you who are happy with using plutonium or gold to achieve what, you stay the same. Those of you who go to the essence of the creation, you do not need to divide and decay to go lower. You start from the lower, which is the essence and the basis of the creation of everything else. So you go down to creation of the plasma, monoplasmatic hydrogen, and even further than that, monoplasma dynamic systems, which through the division of different parts, you create the structure of the totality. The creation of the universe has been one of the secrets of the creation of the man. How does it happen? How does it expand to be? And how did the universe started? Everything started from a single plasma. The secret of the creation of the universe comes from unity of itself. But if you never understood, in a very simple picture, in book number 3, I have explained it, but you always looked at it in the matter state. There is a picture in book number 3, which is the essence of the explanation of the unity of the creation across the universe. And many of you never understood. Nobody have ever understood how powerful this picture is. This is the only way we could hide the knowledge of the universe. This is the way that when you come to this point and you see the picture in a book, you understand, oh my God, I have the unicos, I have the universe, I have my own structure within it, and I was not aware of it. I have given the full knowledge of the creation of the, what you call the creator or the origin in the book 3. And it's all in one picture. In this, I It shows without a talk the beginning of the beginning, the origin of the creation, the existence of one field leading to the creation of the universe. Search for it, open the book, and you shall see. It's in other book in a different way, but the same explanation. The origin of life starts with the simplest, and then in its transition in the space of the creation, and in the loss of strength and interaction of the different strength leads to creation of new dimensions. But in totality, everything is within the beginning. I am the beginning, I am the end. Because I begin with one, and out of myself, I create my own division, which leads to creation of new dimension. What does this mean?
I was going to say, Mr. Kesh, would you like to use the whiteboard to help explain some of these ideas?
I thought you understood, Rick.
Well, for our audience, Mr. Kesh, I've been actually looking through the book here myself, and he at some of the
Can you allow me to share?
Yes, please.
I explain to you, you will understand in one go that we have released the secret of creation from the beginning, but nobody was there to see. Go back. In one of the pictures, you see this. And then, in the same process, you see, for example, this. In other places, you see this. The plasma is the universe. And as it releases its field in interaction and reduction of its fields in the space with other fields leads to creation of universes. So the whole universe is within the structure of one plasma. Sometimes you don't need the line of connection. The interaction itself leads to creation of new condition. And in so many ways, you change everything in different directions. So you don't need to have one line. The interaction of different field strength leads to the creation of a new universe. And then again, the interaction of the fields inside that universe leads to creation of galaxies, and the same inside different field strength leads to creation of solar systems, the planetary, the solar, the structure of the man, and below. So now this explains the unified field theory. We all come from one. This is much cleaner and clearer in the pictures in the book. Now, if you understand this, then you understand through the link of your emotion, you can connect yourself into any dimension. Transportation across the universe from one universe to another is as easy as you get into the car, you go shopping to the supermarket. Once you understand the structure. This is the secret of creation. And Accra will teach this for those who understand. Then the question comes, do we need a spaceship? As I always said, you take this knowledge according to your understanding. If you are happy on the back of a donkey, you still get from A to B. If you're not afraid and you can get in the car, you still get shorter time from A to B. And if you're not afraid and you can get a plane and you're not frightened of flight, you still get from A to B. According to your intelligence and according to what is available for you to understand the position and the condition. Building of the new space center is the key to beginning of opening up the doors into universal community. Many people will pass the center every day with their cars, their bikes, they walk on a donkey, they take their herds for food, and they run from one thing to another to be. But within the center, we teach the travels of the space, where now you pass the galaxies, the universes, and the rest. The distance between the road and the center is less than 500 meters. That 500 meters brings the gap between the enlightenment and those who are attached to physicality. We need, while I'm alive, to build this center, that we start the process of the transition from man to space. For man to understand the structure of his emotion, for man to understand the structure of his soul, for man to understand his soul is the structure copy of the universe and unicos. It's him who decides his position. And it's him who decides the awareness of his existence across the universe on a balanced, peaceful condition. We still will build the spaceships for those who still would like to have the comfort of touch. But we teach the building of a spaceship in the soul of the man, which has no dimension and no physicality. So now you see how fast we come. The building, the structure, is the confinement of the space for a man of knowledge to come to. Beyond that, there shall be no walls, except the wall is made by man's fear of his own existence across the depth of the universe. And if you become wise enough, you will understand that there is no dimension. The strength in confidence and the strength in understanding is the key to success in deep space travel across the universes. And man has not got that self-confidence yet. We built this center to start the process. We need to build this center, that we take the next step. Let's look at something which we discussed before. In the teachings and in some pictures being shown in some private teachings, you have seen the video of a woman with amputated toe, where we grow. In some teachings you have seen the woman with no physical part of the brain, but still alive. and after 5 years of paralysis, it starts walking. You ask yourself why. How come without the physical part of the brain, a woman can walk? We were told if you have a stroke and you take this part of the brain out, then there is nothing, you go paralyzed. How come the person is still alive? How come the person without the physicality of the brain, physical part, still can walk? You were looking for physicality of the existence of the brain. We were looking for the use of the emotion, strength that leads to creation of the physical motion. But the rest is a magic show, because you never understood that we use the emotion and the strength of the emotion of the person through his soul to move the physicality when the physical part of the brain does not exist. So we have already shown this work. Now you can relate to it. Then you understand with the amputation, the desire of existence allows the creation of the toe. And when the desire dies, because what was achieved, the growth stops. So in both cases we show the creation of the motion, and in the other we show the creation of physicality. And this comes from the same brain structure. It's for man to learn. We have a video of a coma patient where we control the motion of the legs and arms through the neural system on the jaw without the operation and the need for the brain. Because we understand through the emotion and the strength of the soul, which is still alive within the structure, physicality needs to show its connection to its emotion. So all the parts are there. So we have seen what you call the evolution of the physicality has been in front of us. Why some have 3 toes and some have 5 toes, and some animals are happy without any toes. Connect them all together because I need the strength. Is the emotion which have decided the shape, the size, the presentation and the manifestation of the shape of the end of the physical existence in respect to its environment. 5 nails, 1 nail to become a horse or a donkey as a hoof, or I decide to have what I want, but I want in different shapes but flexible, I become the fin of the fish. In the Spaceship Center, we teach the tools of the space according to the structure of the space, not according to the understanding of the man that it has to be a finger and a toe. You decide in emotion of the strength of the condition, I don't need 5 fingers. But you have to understand the condition of the atmosphere of this planet enforces such a condition for the man who wants to be in that form and shape. Because you have to receive energy and give energy in balanced position through the tip of your fingers, through the length of your fingers, through the length of your toes, to the shape of your toes, because this manifests its emotion, the existence and the behavior of the man. Man has never understood this. You can try to have 20 toes and 50 fingers, and you'll find out it doesn't happen, because the environmental condition of this planet, according to its structure of the division of multi-materials, plasma, enforces this kind of a structure. You have no choice. And this is for man to understand. When I change the atmospheric condition of the planet, which allows, and there is a need for 10 fingers and 20 toes, you will receive it, because this is the understanding of the comfort of the existence in that position, the way you want to manifest yourself. Then you can ask yourself a single question. If you're a woman, can I make a mermaid of myself, that I can be the queen of the oceans and the beauty of the land? Can I create birth without the need for a male? Can I be a man that I can sleep in peace without the bothers of the physicality? Now, man is given that chance. The structure of half man and half different animals was given to man for man to understand the mixture of his existence if he wishes so. But man took it in different dimension. When you understand the work of the plasma in the shape we explain, you can live within the oceans. And seconds later, you can live within the structure of the solid body of the planet. It's you who decides the conformation of the existence, because this is how it needs to be in that space and field. This is how you get different shapes and colors and the structure of the same animal in different part of this planet. It's for man to become intelligent to the knowledge. It is important for us to teach the way. We have brought all the ingredients for making the man of space. Now we have to show him how to mix it, and how to stir it, and how to position it to get bread out of the flour or a cake out of the same. It's you who mixes the dough. It's your emotion which dictates the manifestation of the physicality. Now you understand what will be taught in Accra. We are gathering huge support for the next move. We are gathering the intellectuals to make the ground ready for the next generation, as the next generation is not mature enough to be able to understand the way they are set up. Now, next time when you look at the GANs in your containers, think how much of my emotion these GANs understand. How much of my anxiety has been shared with. How much I've been brought to be in peaceful condition. It's not wrong how you make the GANs, it's not wrong how you made the nano coating, it's not wrong what core you use. All this was to bring man to this point, a further step in the knowledge of understanding of the work of universe through the operation of the soul of the man. If we would have taught this 3 years ago, they would have said the guy is lunatic. But now we are all lunatics because we made the ganses, we see them moving, we see the interaction with our emotion when we take a zinc or copper or whatever. Now it's for us to understand what strength we need for what we need to create the condition we need. But using our own soul. The problem is not the knowledge. The problem is accepting and understanding the truth. The problem is for the man to understand his own emotion and his own strength. In fact, there is not a problem. It's comprehension of the status of one's emotion and soul. Expectation in physicality to be in given level of a soul, when in fact the soul cannot support. I love to be famous and I love to be an actress, but in fact I don't have the figure and I don't never been trained to be one. How do you expect me to be one? This is the question. To be able to be man of space in the condition of understanding the universal condition is for man to learn to elevate his states of his own soul. Do I need to have a physical interaction to have a child? Or can I have a child of the soul of the creation without physical contact? Do I need to have the physical body to love? Or do I love the soul which creates the physical body? Now the body can be any kind of shape you want to be, as I created the line of interaction and emotion. It's very hard for a lot of people and scientists to understand, but when they understand there is no need for physicality to create the interaction of the creation. I put it to you in a very simple way. Maybe you understand. Does a neutron have an intercourse to give life to a child, what we call the electron of itself? No. So, is there a need for existence of two to create the sibling? Or understanding the division of the strength can lead if the condition of inside, what they call gravitational magnetical, balances itself in respect to its environment. So now we understand. I can love unconditionally and I can create unconditionally according to the environment of the existence. So in so many ways, we are back to square one. What you see on the screen, a lot of you have been looking for unified field theory. It is unified. It comes out of giving, and in giving, creating different strengths, the ones which are outside return inwardly to match up with what is matching to create the new dimension. This leads to the creation of gravitational force. The creation of yin and yang, the creation of magnetical and gravitational, comes from the creation of the motion of giving, that the interaction with the environment of the fields creates the field of the gravitation. This is the key to the secret of the creation. If you understood what I just said, you can manage and create anything you need at any strength anywhere in the universe. If you have moved and you have a division here because of the strength, which is not the same, and then you have another one which has come from the field of the strength of the inner but of the same, the two will interact. In interaction, any other fields which is in strength will come to be of the same. Now you have created gravitational pull, where in fact the field still grows to give more. So gravitation comes out of magnetical. It comes out of the residue of the interaction of the fields in the environment which are of the same strength, and this, it pulls all the fragments together now that you've created, and gravity comes to be created out of giving. This is what I say, the more you give, the more you receive, because in receiving, now that you have created multi-layers of field forces, there is always different dimension strength available and present which you can attract to. Does the existence of the man become a coincidence of the interaction of the fields of the universe? Or was it by intention of one to create one? The former is much closer to reality. The understanding of the creation is the secret to man's passage into the universe. Because once you understand this, your emotion cannot be abused, and you don't need to keep on building different house of worships with different names in different part of the universe. As you come to different point of understanding which is above you and you don't understand, you create a church of this and the mosque of that and a temple of this in different part of the universe, as we become multicultural religious organizations. Now we have become unified religions. Unification of the religions. So it means understanding of the creation to be one. It's us, according to our intelligence, make and build different churches, different temples. And now that we understand the way it works, the temple of the God is the temple of the creation, and is one. So, where do we go from this point? I will teach in the spaceship center, the next step of the interaction of the man with his own soul through the mirror image of the systems that the man will make himself. And then through it, the creation of the spaceship of the unity of the man's body on its own. We will see people who make the spaceships, and we'll see those who understand more make a spaceship out of their own interaction of the physical dimensions of the strength of their soul. Then you become of those who have been enlightened. The rest will be busy with nano coating and making coils and health units and flight units. You cannot raise the intellect of all these 7 billion in one go. And those who take into that direction of the space are those who will survive the upcoming what is to come. Because even if you start building the spaceship and understand it, you still need years and years to be able to control it, to fly it. Where you make a desire to go to a restaurant, you get up, you desire to have water, you get up and get water. So now your desire is to be at a position in the universe where the explosion of the fields of the interaction of two solar systems is too far away. And then you carry the flag of human race in a deep space, even though the home is gone. I complete the building of the spaceship center in the coming months. We put the first bricks down in the coming week or two. And then it's for you as a human race to participate in the speed of its development. I have done what I came here for, and these are the last moves before I depart. It's for you to understand the knowledge and build on it. It's for you to be able to comprehend the truth about the world of the creation, and not the way you like to push it. Somebody put a word there, too busy with somebody put an image there. These all will live in the hand of the man. And we keep the man busy according to his own work. Try to build monoplasmatic system. Try in the stage of development build monoplasma of the ganses of your emotion. And then instead of moving the core, try to interact in a peaceful manner with different strengths of the same, and see how you can shape it. Then you know how you can shape your physical body in different dimensions. Then try to see how your emotion will show itself in a manifestation of the shape of the certain layers of the plasma. It'll be nice when you find out this GANS is for my happiness, this GANS strength is for my sadness, this GANS is for the excitement of the joy of being with a partner, and watch them and see which one is changing the speed and shape according as you change your emotion. Then you understand the control system of your emotion, and then you create a condition where again the ganses are irrelevant. You see the field flow, then you touch the control through your soul, where physicality of the existence of the fields of the emotion become down the line. Then you can control it at the end, what physicality will manifest itself. The nail, the skin, the hair, the eyelashes. this is what I said many times, maybe you understand more, is the creation of the interaction of the fields of the plasmas, which leads to creation of the soul. And once the soul of the man is created within the womb of the mother, resides the shape of the physicality according to what he feels in the womb of the mother, in respect to the mother, to the father, to the environment, and the total balance of the souls which are interacting with this position. This is not what is written in the books of science of today, but now you understand the truth about how and why we have. Why do you have 2 kidneys and 1 liver and blah blah and everything else? Because when the soul of the man is created within the structure, which is long before is embedded in the soul of the sperm and the egg, you remember, you put an orange and you got the taste of orange in the water. The shape of the existence of the liver and the kidney and everything else is the same way. You call it DNA, you call it RNA, but in fact, it's the replication within the liquid of the womb of the mother, is the replication of the cup with the orange. Now you're wondering why we come up with the same thing, because we mimic the same process. Now we understand. And in a cup, you can have all the tastes and all the parts. Our dearest friend Alex has shown this in the same cup. Banana and orange and alcohol. In the morning he felt the orange, in the afternoon he had his banana, at night he was drunk for 2 days. But it's the same water. This is why when you get the rain, suddenly out of nowhere, you have the replication of the fish. Where was the fish? How did the fish get into this water? We didn't have the fisherman to get fish from the ocean and drop it in, and you find out the original fishes are about the same. Because the condition of the replication of the water in respect to the environment seeds the copy of the replication of the emotion of the planet, which is the existence of the fish. Now you understand how we replicate. Once a pattern set and you become part of the plasma, if you create the repetition of the same environment, you will get the same thing. It's a mass production machine in the individual entities, what we call the womb of the creator. Be the dog, be the man, and whatsoever. In space, you decide the shape. So now it's the environment which has given you the dimensions. I have no calcium here, but I have plenty of potassium and a lot of arsenic and much more carbon. So now in this environment, according to your soul, you need an environment which can live in arsenic with a lot of carbon and no whatever. Then you manifest yourself to exist in that environment. This we will teach here. If you remember, go back to part of the teachings. I explained one day. I will make a box of universe. In the conference in Eindhoven, I opened the box and I said, this is the empty box of the universe. You remember? Now I can create conditions in that box which shows you in the condition of the environment of the universe, in that condition, how you physically will look. The empty box of the the universe, but full of the physical condition of the field forces of the plasma of the universe. It's an oven. You give it 250, 300, it bakes through different things. You put it at 100, you can braise it, you put the heat on the top, you fry it faster, and the rest. Now we make the plasma of the universe in the box, and you can understand how you feel and how we look if you decide to put your soul in that box. Then you understand what I said. Again I repeat, I'll bring you to see the soul of Christ. Because in what you understand from that will give you the manifestation of the presentation of the reality according to your understanding. So the incubators of the universe will be part of the structure of the new space center. In a very simple way, you all have seen this, but you can't connect to it because it didn't make sense, because you were looking at something else. Dr. Klaus and the medical team, Dr. Rodriguez and the rest have been building this box for you, but you always connected it with your life, with the physicality and shortcoming of the physical life. You already have a pre-run to the box of universe. If I put dynamic plasma, which is connected to you in different corner of the box, and I create a condition of the fields from the other sides, you will see how you look in the space of planet Zeus, because the environment has been created in the box, and your soul is part of the interaction. You will see if you have 20 arms, and if the temperature is good, in a way you pre-test the space suit of your life, your physicality, before you take into flight. Would I like to live like this? Or would it look, how would I look if I have 20 arms and 15 legs? Now you understand why we are opening the space center. You will not see what you would have and you've been seeing, but we'll teach you, and we teach the next generation to live and be able to understand the process of their strength of their emotion and the interaction of it with their soul, that it leads to their manifestation. Then you want to read mind of everybody else, because through the soul you can interact with them, and they tell you, no, you need 2 legs more, and that we all want to be. You'll manifest yourself as the way they want to see you, and not in reality the way you are inside. We've seen many men of space on this planet. Outside they look as a man, but inside they live the existence of the soul of other dimensions, where they originated in the strength of their gravitational magnetic field. Now you know how you see so many passengers of the universe on this planet. To them inside, they don't see themselves with 2 arms and 2 legs. The others of the same, they recognize. But those of you as a human who would like to see things to have 2 legs and 4 arms, they look the same to you, so you see them that way. And then, because they are not aware of the restriction of the physicalities in certain dimensions, you see them, they go through the walls, they walk, you see them in the spaceship, and everything else, which now that the man has managed to bring the equipments and develop technologies that they can record different strengths and dimensions, we see as magic thing. But in fact, to the being inside, he does not see himself as a human. He still has the feeling and the emotion of his origin. But to the I and the existence of the physicality of this planet, he manifests himself in the shape of the man. As we say, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You see the most ugliest creature, but to another is the most beautiful thing God ever created. How many times you watch the television and you see the two matches that they don't fit and they say we are so in love and whatever, and you go, bleh. Or you say, oh, so fantastic, and the guy has no feeling. Say, what a stupid man. Because it's how they perceive the interaction of the soul. Be it the man, be the woman, be the dog, be the cat, or whatever. This is the process that you'll face in the space. And the new space center does not be multi-story, because on the field strength of the planet, we can create all dimensions. Now you understand why and how we have become why we are in Accra. Join us, those of you who are true men of space, not here to prove you can make different ganses, but you have become close enough to your emotion and soul that through the interaction with the ganses, you react and you create the condition of existence. Now, which one of you is the true man of space? And which one of you would like to go with the aircraft, with the spaceship, or the ship of the body of the soul of the man? Many times you said, we are all the same flesh, the same blood. Now extend the knowledge. In the universe, we are all the same soul. We came from the same. The manifestation of the existence in the condition of the environment allows us different presentation. So the souls are all the same within the structure of the creation. It's the environment which gives them different physical dimension and manifestation. Any questions? Which is relevant to the teaching?
Good morning, Mr. Cash.
Good morning, Dr. Azar.
How are you, Mr. Cash?
As good as could be.
Okay, that's very well. That's good. I have if you don't mind, I have a few questions.
One or two?
Three.
We'll see.
Okay, the first question is this: as a
we are getting a feedback on my voice. I can hear myself back.
Maybe your speakers are up, or you can turn your speakers down. It might help.
Okay. First question is, Mr. Cash, regarding the money we need to for the spaceship that you're building in Accra. I was thinking, as Cash members, a lot of us making stuff and selling them, like a soap, I don't know, patches, things like this. Is there any way we can make a direct, if we create a bank account, each of us, and make a direct connection between that bank and the foundation? So 50% of what comes in comes directly to that.
Let me explain to you, Azar. We have set up central banking system which is in Holland as part of the Cash Foundation for years. Anybody can donate to it in any shape or form. We never ask, we never tell how much. We set a criterion for our partnership manufacturing. People can do whatever they like. The banking account is on the net. The Cash Foundation United States or USA has got its own PayPal, which donations can be given as a receipt invoice sale, which goes back to the Cash Foundation. You just put it as a donation, goes sent to the head office in Holland. We have set up a Cash Foundation bank account in Accra for the Cash Foundation, but that's in a partnership with the Ghanaian government. So you can do in any shape or form. We do not ask, but this development for humanity incurs a physical cost of building it, we leave it to you. We never ask you have to do this. We ask for the donations fixed for the cancer research because it has to be covered and it's something which we do. The rest, who and how you want to donate towards the building of the center is up to you. We've seen many people running. Let me explain also. This was discussed just before the teaching today in the background, and it's a discussion which is going on for some time. A lot of people are making a lot of money teaching Keshe Foundation, conferences, seminars, maghreb parts, and once they collect the money, they forget about everything else. We bless them. They need it, otherwise they don't do it. But on the other hand, if anyone who wants to do anything to support this development is there, we cannot go to governments, then we get conditioned. We support it as part of the Keshe Foundation worldwide. This is the change. I have called for management of the Keshe Foundation meeting tomorrow, as I said before. You decide. The cost we see is around about 250 million euros or dollars. It is a latest condition to create what needed. I wanted to create this with the Chinese government some times ago, but they played a different game. Here in Ghana, we don't need to. We have received the support and we do it. We need to raise around about 250 million to build the latest space center, health center, the Universal Council building, the World Council meeting, and everything else goes with the research and development. We were talking with the scientists of the different organizations in past couple of days on the lunch we were talking, and we need to build new systems, totally new systems to be able to measure the strength of the plasma. I said to them on the table that 100 years ago, we knew X-ray, we didn't know about X-rays and gamma rays. When we discovered what we can do with them, we set out to build system for detection and measurement and everything else. Now we know about plasma and the way we explain it. Now we have to go through the same process. Build systems, build tools of measurement, build tools that we know what is and how it should be. These all incurs for people to be able to do and live to be able to participate. So whatever they like is one thing we need to do. Those of you who are looking for peace, those of you who are looking for free energy, those of you who are looking for whatever, this center will become one of the centers, and on the back of it, other centers will be built. We don't go to put membership that we can raise. It all to you. We estimate around about 250 million dollars to build the space lab for humanity for whatever condition. So don't come back and say, can we pay 50? The accounts are there. US Keshe Foundation USA has a PayPal account. Keshe Foundation Holland sits on the bank account. You can donate in any shape or form. But now we are in a stage, we need to do it. We have to do it. And the speed of development is not a church that we're going to build a new temple. This is a temple of science, temple of peace, temple of going to space. And those of you who want to do it, is there to be done. We never go out to do things which cannot be done, but we always left it to the others who can do it.
Mr. Keshe, I understand. For example, for me, it was there was a part that anytime I wanted to send money because I was buying things, I had to spend $100 to the bank of the fee charges to get the money. But if there is PayPal, things like this, make it easier. At the same time,
US, let me say, Keshe Foundation USA, which is an American corporation, is on the back of the Keshe Foundation. You put on it donation, and then that money will, whatever it is, will be transferred to the Keshe Foundation headquarters, and then according to what we need to be done, will be transferred across different parts of Keshe Foundation to support the development of the Space Center. Most of our expenses comes from equipment, development, and accusation of the edge of science technologies that we can go into the next step to become without equipment. So we talk about there is no a single Raman spectroscopy machine in Ghana. We need 4 or 5 of them. They're in $30,000–$50,000 each. Where is it going to come from? Without Raman spectroscopy, without infrared spectroscopy, and a lot of other machinery which is in the hand of organizations like NASA and the Space Institutes, it's impossible to do. And on top of it, we have to develop new systems that can be more advanced, that it works in the field of plasma. I made a request to NASA about 3–4 weeks ago, because we have a direct contact into NASA, and I asked them, can we use your field detectors, which you can do 360? They said there is a sanction on you, Mr. Kesh, by NASA. But there could be other organizations who might be interested to participate and collaborate. They have the machine. These machines are about €1 million, €2 million each, where we can field detect and build a spaceship. I have, and the members of the Keshe Foundation top core, especially in the past few months, have taken a lot to see this to go through. But it's come to a point, there is a need for international support by the members to build it. It's a transparent condition. We don't have the money, we can't put the brick down. We're supporting as much as we can, and we're done.
But I can tell you this, because for me, you know, I had situations like this past Monday, a gentleman called that he wants to get some information. So I went in to the office because I want to answer his question and about MAGA, other question he had. After talking to him for 1 hour, very nice gentleman, he just opened his wallet, gave me $50, and I couldn't accept it. I said, you know, I haven't done anything for you. Just keep your money, maybe next time. But then knowing this, it makes me feel good to collect that $50. I sent $25 to you. But so far, I think everybody can do the same thing. And actually,
thank you very much, Azar. If that depends on your emotion, because we don't get involved on that. I know people giving conferences in Germany, in Spain, collecting $10,000–$20,000 or €12,000 in one session without doing anything. And they say, oh, they're using the name of the Keshe Foundation to make money for themselves. Have they contributed anything to the foundation? No. They use our name, be it. Last week, Rick showed something that people can put the maps of the presentations and conferences. Does any of them send a single cent to the foundation? Hardly any. We become a source of a lot of people earning money for themselves, but we wait and see where these go. We've seen them one after another collapsing.
But you know, I have to deal with my own soul. They have to deal with their own soul. That's their own power.
That's what I said. Now we leave it to you. The building of the Spaceship Center incurs cost to buy the latest and bring scientists who can use it and develop it. And that's up on you. As I said, we put cameras. If you don't see no development, it means no money has arrived. That's how it's going to be. We have shareholding in a number of the companies. We are taking over some factories directly for 100% control now, because we had to. And we'll see a lot of people come to us and then they do different things. We leave it to them. I'm not attached to it. It doesn't matter to us. We've seen a lot of expanders coming up in every shape or form, but we carry on. That's how it is. There is something I have to tell you, Azar, in this part, and the Keshe Foundation members. You notice that we do not refer anything to DL this week. The process has moved on into what we call into the hand of the members of law enforcement. It has gone into massive move, and we've been told by prosecutors, do not mention any further anything in your teachings that it can damage the case. These have been found to be associated with what they were associated with. Massive 4 prosecuted divisions of the 4 different countries are lining. We have found a lot of information. And these are the people who've been milking and living around the Keshe Foundation and making all sorts of accusations. We have opened the first step. This is costing us money, and the people who are behind it understand. We have set up the first steps of what we call, very much like an Interpol organization, collaboration of all the forces, different agencies together in central database, like what we call police Wikipedia. The structure is set. We got the system is set up. These all cost money, and now we are asking the police forces, security forces, to come in, add to the data, take from us, and put it in. I was told at the moment there is about 11,000 pages in this Wikipedia. So these all cost money. It's not just we talk about creation of the world government. We are setting the security system behind it for those who do whatever they do. We need to keep that all the forces, what we call, to become one. At the moment, FBI, Dutch police, Belgian prosecutors, Italian prosecutors, Austrian prosecutors, they're all coming in, looking in, how it's happening, who's working where, what they've done, what criminality involved, what Panamanian accounts they have opened past 25, 30 years ago, that they've been siphoning child trafficking and money laundering and calling themselves innocent. All has been piled up into this Wikipedia. We don't leave it in the open public, but we are setting the basis for world government. This takes time. Hopefully very soon we might have a Norwegian lady, a police force, she'll consider it, that she might come into one direction. We are asking the direct police officers in different ways to become part of this structure. This all costs money. We don't go and talk about it. It's taken 2-3 years to gather 11,000 pages of information. And now when we speak to law enforcement, I wrote to a prosecutor last night. I said, we have given you the information. Be kind enough when you receive the thing, when you have information, put it back in that the other law enforcement can use it. At the beginning there's apprehension, but now they see they're using it, they put something in. We've done this with the Italian security services and police since Fabio's death. They have direct access to this, what we call a structure of Wikipedia. FBI has a direct access to it. So all this costs money. We pay for it. And people think it's nothing, but in time will come. You donate what you think, you make conferences and sell. We know people in Germany are making a lot of presentations, a lot of MAGRAP systems, and Foundation hasn't seen a single cent. Have we called them in and said, what are you doing? No, because at the end they're the losers. It has to be correct, it has to be done. We are moving the factory in Italy from one position to another because we had delays in delivery and all sorts of problems. Now the foundation takes 100% control of it. And we apologize for any delay in deliveries, but this is what we were facing for months, and now we have resolved it. In the next few weeks, Keshe Foundation locates in a new position in south of Italy, and then everything is in the hand of the foundation, 100% control, and everything goes back to normal. We know our problems, we don't hide, but everything costs money and we have to be able to pay for it. We don't receive donations from people or organizations. We were sent a very large donation, and the American government blocked it. So they have a say, but that's their problem. You donate what you think is right, not financially to us, in teaching, in the others, and whatever comes. But building the center is our responsibility. It's Keshe Foundation worldwide. Estimated cost 250 million. Minimum. But has one advantage. The factory is running. Once we get our licenses, the factory will contribute partially to it, because I can only take from it what is my share as a Keshe Foundation. Ghanaian government will not pass over their share profit because they're counting as part of their national income, and they will not pass over the taxation. We have to pay the taxes to the government, and then on top of it, at the end, government takes another 25% of the shareholding, which means in fact we pay 50% to the government. The other 50% we spend in Ghana, and the rest of the Keshe Foundation development will be open to us. But till then, the licensing and everything else, we have to do it, and it's got to be done. This is not going to grow out of the ground. 250 million euro is what we are looking for, we have to raise. $1, $2 a month, 100 million, $100, $1,000 euros is the banks is there. It's all depends on you. Now the Keshe Foundation USA for a PayPal for donation is open, and you can order American goods, which means nobody can accuse the foundation as they're doing this and that. So you choose. In the coming time, we release the what do you call it, more information about development. We put cameras across the fields in Ghana. You don't see any development, it means the humanity is not ready for it. I take from the foundation what I need. I have no Panama hidden accounts, I don't have any bank accounts, whatever else. I buy a shirt, I pay from the foundation. I sell a book, goes to the foundation. Those who are close to us, they know. Never been so transparent. You pay me cash, it goes back into the foundation for the work. So I have no attachment, it's all what it needs to be. You don't see development from now on, we put cameras on site. It means what's going on. You want to do sessions that you pay all the money to the foundation, it's your prerogative. But from now on, you wanted world peace. We established the world government, we established the Universal Council, we have established factories to be able to support, we received the help of the government to build the first space center, we can build the first hospitals in a space level, not with what you see operating rooms. So from now on, Keshe Foundation worldwide decides. Doesn't matter if you're in China, if you're in US, you're in Brazil. There's one bank account number and one PayPal account. Arman is in charge of the US accounts, and we trust him with our lives. I have access to the same bank. This has been set up because of the collaboration in USA. And every Keshe Foundation manufacturing has got its own bank account, and they operate as an entity. Any profit from us goes back into Holland, and then it gets distributed across to the Keshe Foundations around the world in what projects we have. The work in Japan is colossal. We enter the third phase of the experiment in the next 72 hours. The Japanese scientists are baffled with what is coming out. What's going to be our position with Japanese government in respect to our research? It needs a lot of investment to set up the companies, the spin-offs and the manufacturing. I have supported for past 20 years the Keshe Foundation in shape every form. This is the man wants the world peace, you want the Universal Council, you want the world government, you want to walk away from the shackles of the, what I call color race United Nation. Only decision made by the white man, everybody else to follow. Only made by the English speaking and they have to follow, otherwise they bomb you. It's all finished. Yes, you want equality, you want peace. It has to come to universal language. It comes to unity of the language across the world. You want direction of the peace through a world government. You need the men who understand the work of the man. You have a beautiful world council. We are setting up the what we call the intelligence service for data collection in what and how and who's doing what across the Keshe Foundation, and through Keshe Foundation is getting set up. It's already set up. I said there's about 11,000 pages on it. Let alone leave our data collection on the individuals which come across Keshe Foundation, which is another bunch of data. You want to contribute Keshe Foundation, what do you call it, Holland account stays the same. You want to contribute through PayPal, whatever you put on a donation for Ghana, it'll come to us because say we received as a donation, we transfer it as donation to where it has to go.
Mr. Keshe, there's a question about moral acceptability for this goal of donating to the Keshe Foundation. Agur mentions in the chat, if I take back through the legal system, the earnings they stole with their toxic money schemes, is this morally acceptable to put this into use for our goal?
That's your decision. The thing is, Keshe Foundation is a charity, registered charity, so you can donate to a registered charity. We're a non-profit organization.
And some people are worried about where the money may have come from. If it was from you know, some nefarious means that the money was obtained.
What do you mean, for the foundation or for them?
Well, for example, there might be money coming into people that is coming back to them from people that have been stealing money for years and that kind of thing.
We cannot check these things, and we ask you, please, if you have a dishonest money, keep it to yourself. Donate it to mafias. Donate it to another organization. You understand? We want money which is not tainted, cannot be tainted. We don't want to rob Paul to pay Peter. We've seen the situation in Italy where they attacked us. This stupid newspaper guy went on and caused a lot of problem with civil defense people writing the rubbish, and then we saw immediately a bunch of idiots jumping on the bandwagon, blah 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 blah. Now we submitted our letter according to Italian law. The newspaper stands for massive damages to be paid to the foundation for slander and damaging the credibility of the foundation. How much it will be, when it will be, they'll go back into the pocket of the what I call AB AMRO Bank, which is the pocket of the Keshe Foundation, and we spend it on you lot in what we do. Is that money legal? Correct. Is what they did, is the law stands, and it goes back into the operation of the foundation because it's there. I don't take it and run. It's handled by Giovanni, and we are monitoring it. We have people who offered us lands. They have offered us, oh, I can give you everything if you let me have the power generator. I can give you a power generator. Don't need your money. But on the other hand, everything is conditioned. We are going on the position of, you feel this, we have set up the condition. The Keshe Foundation Space Center, Spaceship Center in Ghana, is the center where we build the correct conduct the way it should be. Why do we need, and why shouldn't we have a world center in Africa? Man started from Africa. So, are we going back to our roots? Is it time that the suffering of this planet shows us to bringing the peace into planet? Because they learn from it. I don't know, but it looks like it. I enjoy working here. I have found a lot of peace. We found a lot of hardship here because it's not the way we are used to it, but maybe we have to change our expectation. I enjoy immensely working in Africa. I've done that for years. And to me, I see a lot of restrictions in the limitation of what I'm used to, but I look at it, the target, the aim, the end, it's worth the sacrifice. But I can do this. The others can teach. Others can sit for half an hour now and listen, and somebody wants to contribute to it. You tell them, this is it, this is the receipt, I put it in the fund of the Keshe Foundation and developed of the World Center. We need to raise this money if we are there to make the change. Once we put the Universal Council, once we put the World Council, once we put the Spaceship Institute, they all are there. Now you say, why in one place? When you're dealing with a man of a space and you have a center to talk to them, they land in your center immediately into administration and into the governors. You don't need to land them in Accra and then ship them to somewhere else or bring them to Accra. We have. There is a reason I put the World Council, the Universal Council, and the first Spaceship Center next to each other. This is where we negotiate for universal peace. This is where we negotiate for universal community, all in the same place, in a peaceful land of Accra, Ghana. You don't need to go to airport to get the permission to be driven from the airport to the United Nations building, and meanwhile these members of your government cannot come. We had this problem with Ahmadinejad. I saw this problem when I was in Tehran when Ahmadinejad went to United Nations conference. Americans call it United Nations, but they dictate which diplomats can come in. No, it's a terrorist. Who said it's a terrorist? You are the terrorist. Half of the Israeli government cabinets were a terrorist and they were forever sitting in United Nations. Where is the ban for them? This way, there isn't. You land, you are in the council. You land, you meet with the government, the leaders of the earth, the people who decide. We saw how abuse has come under the flag. Why do you think we brought the United Nations down to what we call the Universal Council? British-speaking, English-speaking colonies carry 60% of the votes in the United Nations. So Britain and America get whatever they want. Bribery, push, or whatever. Colonism. With the French and other, they control every time to push what they want through United Nations. This way is one language, there is no nations. I know what I've done. It needs to be structured, it needs to be set. This building, this structure in Accra has to be built and has to be developed. Because it's the key to unification of the man, is key to bringing man to peace, is key to interaction of the man into universal community. We see the mayhem in European Union. One office in Brussels, they ship for 1 or 2 months a year all the way to France, Strasbourg. Why? Because French, they never believed Brussels will be the center of EU. They are waiting for it to collapse. They are waiting for the Belgian monarchy to collapse. They have the alternative ready. Have you ever understood this? Why Strasbourg is used? It's not just there whenever they want to use it. And continuously they come and go. Everybody knows the problem with the Belgian monarchy and pedophiles and child trafficking and all sorts of problems. They know it's going to collapse. And the French were being aware of this because the French king created the Belgium for his son. They will not let it go. They have. Now you have EU with that problem. In the Universal Council, you don't have that problem. It's all in one center. We wish it, we receive it. Benjamin is shocked at things I do here and he just says, okay, that's whatever. But I plan, I wish, and I receive. We need to build the center. Let me, Rick, please. We need to build the World Center. We need to build the World Covenant. The 6 members of the World Government don't need to be there, but it's the center when they need to meet with the World Government. The Universal Council will not meet in Rome, in there. Meeting is in Accra. People will come here to achieve peace through any kind of negotiation for humanity. It's not that once we establish the Universal Council is going to be peace with everything. It's a family. Human race is big. They'll find a little bit here, a little bit there. They come into the environment of Universal Council. They find peace with themselves. They find a solution. You will see in the next few weeks, we'll put the cameras. We put the site. We've been given the site. Benjamin and I, we've been on it. Now we got to plan it, how we're going to do it. It's going to be done in a way that is safe for everyone. It's going to be done that is reachable by everyone. And then the rest is yours. We estimate what we need. And it's now, you've been crying or you've been shouting and you've been calling us everything. Doesn't matter what you call. This building has to be built. This site has to be built. Universal Council, World Council, a spaceship system has to be next to each other that can meet the future need and demand of the man. Country chosen, safe from all sorts of things, in the womb of Africa, in the hand of people, a government which is peaceful. And so we do. This for you. We need This is it. I put a camera on 24 hours a day. We did that in the Center. You don't see any movement. There has been nothing coming in. Don't blame us, we can't achieve. We are not building a church. We are not building a mosque. We are not building anything. We are building a center for humanity, for excellence in science that you can come and take back to your countries. We are building a center for negotiation of the peace. United Nations will go to war between each other, but the Universal Council will call the same government, they walk out with peace. Through the work of the Universal Council and the correctness of the world members of the World Council, you will find there will be no conflict with the United Nations and the world leaders. Gradually they come to understand how come they can achieve peace in this building and we still plan wars in New York. This is what the plan is. You've seen it. America pushed with Philippines and China for war. I support it. I advise the Chinese. I supported the Philippine Keshe Foundation in right to governments, in right to people. The paper was not there. The intention of the soul was there, and he achieved it. You saw how we walked away one of the biggest war planned by the Americans, back again to Vietnam and worse. This is what is got to be done, where the Universal Council calls the nations in, and they sit and they talk, and they find a solution. We don't go and demolish the United Nations will come down on its own, because it's from the top floor to the bottom has got nothing but rivers of blood running through it. Millions. We've seen Libya, we've seen Syria, we've seen Iraq, one of the most ancient walls came down with a false accusation of chemical warfare, and whether there was nothing that they knew about it. So we replace very rapidly in next few years Universal Council by peace. We are the man of peace. We support. You lost something between two nations, what is it? We support it, that is given to you, that you are both at peace. We don't incite war. We find a position that both happy. Who do you think you're going to have? United Nations. They burn that building down very soon. It'll come down with nobody in it. People will be ashamed to say we used to work for United Nations. So this is the way we do it. As I said, we put cameras on land. You see grass, is yours. You see building, centers built, is yours too. I will not go starve hungry. Members of the Keshe Foundation have sacrificed, especially in the past few months, to see this happening. They have to be looked after correctly, and it's there. And you'll see everything which is in our limitation, in our finances, will go to it. We have spent a lot of money and time here and in other researchers to achieve what we have achieved. It's you in what you do. Give all these lectures, all these teachings, all the Maghreb systems, 50 people every weekend, sell tickets for 250 and all goes into your bank account. Good luck to you. We never came to send you a summons, you're using our name. I said use the logo, use the name, because the more you teach, the more will come. The more knowledge comes from the people, the more peace they come from people. Your second question, Asa, please.
Yes, the second question goes back to the zinc GANs. If I have 7, 8 zinc GANs, do I put all of them in one sphere and see how my emotion is going to move away?
Try. Find which one fits which emotion. Have you found the emotion of love in you with your zinc? Put these zincs on different containers away from each other and see when you feel lovely and you want to love your partner, which one is the one? Oh, this is the love zinc. And then get angry with your child and dog and say, oh, when I got angry this one, oh, this is it. Where do you want to stack it? Do you want to put the love on the top and the anger on the bottom, or in reverse? Don't intend, see the reaction. Maybe your emotion sits more in the copper end of the zinc. You made the wrong zinc because you never say, oh, it doesn't work, because you haven't understood the length of it. What about if you go to the dimension of the soul, the ganses of the which integrate the soul of the man, and then you see that feeling is the soul moves that way, that liquid, that gans. Why do you deal with the emotion of the zinc? Go directly to the level of the soul. And then you see, when I reach that, see which of the ganses move, and then put copper and zinc and then see which one moves. Then you see the connection between the physicality and emotion and the soul. Get 2 ganses in the bottles, I said this before, copper and zinc, and put them next to each other. You see how they balance it, and then move one to another room and mark it and see how they move. They interact. Maybe Azar, you better work directly with your soul than working with the zinc.
Actually, you know what has happened, Mr. Kesh? I was going to ask you this question. Has there any changes in the environment of our planet? Because for the past few months, every day for me in terms of emotion is such a big difference. For example, one day I can tell you on Sunday, just like a wild horse, I cannot, like, is somebody has to tame it. I feel so uncomfortable in my own skin. I have to stay in the house because it's just so uncomfortable to be in the body. But then last night I came home after a whole day of work, and then I feel so good in the body, as if I feel I'm in heaven. And I just don't understand. It's such a drastic emotional
You see, let me explain to you why. You are across and you work a lot with ganses. So you transfer, or subconsciously through your emotion or your soul, you transfer a lot of energy in and out. The minute you come into the environment, what is lacking is there. In a way, you live in a capsule of plasma fields, which we never had before. We always dealt with a matter state plasma. Now, this is what I say. You find a lot of people who work with plasma changing behavior. A lot of people who work with, who never made a GANs, never made a single thing in their life. DL is one of them. He's never made a single GANs in his life because he's a robber. So accuse everybody of everything because they've never been touched with the beauty of it. Most of the people who oppose and come as things, they never made anything, so they have to confirm their existence. Because once they start building ganses, when they see the beauty of the creation, then they have no opposition because they see they control their own destiny. So it affects you. We see it in the factory. We're carrying thousands of liters of GANs in the factory. And when I go in, I feel the people. How they changed. I met them 2 months ago for the first time. I see how they change. Their prospects, their view has changed in what it is and what can be. And they change gradually because the emotional side gets satisfied. Even though it's a very, very strange position. Very, very strange. You transfer your emotion without you knowing. People who don't feel comfortable in physicality look into the GANs of what you have around you, because it's taking too much. Move ganses around. Never collect ganses all in one pile. You give it a physical life dimension. I've seen this, people put a tray of CO2, everything is in that tray, I want it is there. This is wrong. You have given it a physicality, and that physicality has to handle everything. Move your ganses, put a bottle of GANs of zinc somewhere else, in another part of the room, put copper somewhere else. And then you take whatever is there. As you go around, you interact. Piling up of these ganses is going to be a huge problem for people. In a way, you made a physical structure, but in the field of the plasma. You had your third question. Any other question?
Thank you, Mr. Kesh.
Thanks very much for your work, Azar.
Mr. Kesh, we had a couple of questions that are related to the idea of the space together with the Universal Council. And well, Gur had a question you partially answered already, perhaps, but he said, how can an emotion be so strong or strengthened that it leads to instant results?
It's expectation.
Right. I know you mentioned earlier how they were surprised in Ghana how you could get things going so quickly and have things happen and so on. And that's kind of related to getting these instant results.
The thing is, we came here with the intention to serve the nation. When we left Italy, we didn't come with one suitcase. Caroline and I, we decided we are going to Ghana to change. We came here to stay. If the ground wasn't there for it to stay. When we escaped from Belgium to Italy, we went with 3 suitcases, what we needed before the associates of DL could kill us, because they came to the house. They battered Caroline in the front door with me on the phone. But this time when we came with Ghana, we came with a lot of love and intention to change. And we came to stay to change. And from the first days, that intention, that love, that need was there. We stood a lot of rough time in past 4 months. There's a lot of shortcomings here. There's a lot of work needs to be done, but it's worth it. It's not that everything is hunky-dory. Life here is solitary life. The social structure we are used to in Europe doesn't exist. But the end is more important. And our intention was to change, and we receive it. It's daily basis. It's become, the first couple of months was very hard, and I always said to Benjamin, you know, it'll change, it will come the way it should be. And now it's pleasure. Tomorrow I'm giving a talk to top scientists in FDA. They want to know what's the next step we can work with it, the FDA. Then next week we are giving the top scientists from the standard board, because they want to bring it into the nation. They've seen it, they see the use of it. And then on Wednesday the 22nd, the veterinarians of Ghana have organized, they decided on 11 o'clock they come into the SNAS, the building you showed you, for us to teach them. They want to know everything which can do with their animals, because I gave a small talk a couple of weeks ago there, organized by Caroline's because of their annual meeting or monthly meeting, and now they want to know, they don't understand it. We are coming to learn. You have to teach us and give us, because they've seen the results on the animals. So the intention has been there to serve, and it's just opening doors. We have ministries, we have scientific organizations, we have scientists in atomic and associated organizations. In a way, I said to Benjamin very recently, do you know the way the Universal Council works to bring man through languages? I have managed in Ghana to bring all the different parts of the government scientific organization together, and they enjoy being together. They've always been individuals. Now we sit with them in different, we bring them in, we invite them to be together. I brought the unity of the science in Accra together through their scientists and through the position we have in Atomic Commission. This is what I can do. And then with it, now we're bringing scientists from Japan want to come here. Scientists from other organizations want to come here. So it's becoming slowly unifying the country scientifically together, that how we can go. And then we bring in the world scientists together. This Accra will be the center of the world excellence in the spaceship technology. People will camp across this country just to be here to serve. And it's a modern country. It has more highways than Romania in Europe. The position is my wish is my command. We packed our suitcase with Caroline to come here to make a change. And we have made that change. And it just gets created. In past 2-3 weeks, we sit with Benjamin. We are talking, ringing, everybody. Now we don't need to go. They're accepting each other. They used to be in opposite side of the thing. Now they're accepting each other's reference because we don't have time to do again what the others have done. So we take the papers, what they've done, this section with other section, and is becoming one nation scientific that now we feed this back down. It was our intention, we achieved it. We will achieve more and more. Today I'm here teaching. There's a lot going in the background, getting done scientifically, standard board, everybody. They're doing everything possible to get this somehow into open. It's more or less leaves in next few days or weeks in the hand of the president and the ministers, how we're going to handle it. We give it a condition of nationally in one go, and then with it will go to other nations. When the government puts in that we can reduce diabetic, we can reduce high blood pressure, which costs a lot for the country, a lot of damage done, a lot of whatever, then the other countries, how they have it, we don't have it. It's going that way. Give me another 3 months, I'll show you what's going on. We walk into administrations, government administrations with secretaries crippled. Yesterday, I was with Benjamin. A couple of weeks ago in one of the governmental offices, they brought an old woman, not old, in her 50s, which has got a very bad, painful leg, and everybody knows with her, she couldn't come in even to sit, to go. Yesterday, it's the people who control our work at the moment here as well. We went to the same building, and the lady, the guy said, I've got to go and get the lady for you to see. She comes out and she says to Benjamin, thank you for bringing Mr. Cashier. Now I have no pain. And they sit in their own administrations. And as I said, this technology can't be for the elites, the people who work only at the echelons of the government. It's getting hurt. People know they can get rid of the blood pressure from 170, 180 to 10 to reduce to 134, 130, and 6 and 7. And we see the same with diabetic. We see now with HIV. We see with AIDS. We see with cancer. So they are feeling it. They understand it because it touches them. And now I'm making one unified scientific organization. Keshe Foundation is a pivotal point, and everybody comes into it. We work together. The research center, the laboratories is getting built by the consultation of all the governmental research institutes, that anybody can come in and say, this is what we want to do, or whatever. So it's becoming a center of excellence for the scientists in Ghana, and then the world for the space technology. I don't talk, I live the life. Any other question?
Mr. Cash, I have another question.
No.
No?
Is that there is no other question? Anybody else would like to ask a question? Because if you leave out, I should ask question till the end of the program.
Sorry, I just had an internet disconnect there for the last minute or so, so I missed whatever came up during that time. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. I think it was due to the internet provider. So just reconnecting to the live stream here now.
Okay, what's the question, Azar?
Mr. Cash, we're going toward the world peace, and right now in New York, they're planning the war with Iran. So, just us wishing for world peace, would that prevent?
Let me explain to you something very clear, Azar. Iran touches us because we are from that part of the world. We know what is planned for Iran. I explained this to the politicians very recently. Iran Central Bank is the last national bank which has not been opened apart from Korea. The only plan is to get to Iran Central Bank, and Iranian Central Bank director stupidly a few months ago released the figures of Iran National Gold Reserve, which is puzzling, is beyond imagination, and they can confirm their existence. So the rush to get to this gold exists, and the new administrations or whatever is a plan to get, because Rothschilds through Tel Aviv needs to get to it. They empty the other banks into their accounts. It will not happen. It will not happen. They are doing very well. They did everything. They opened centers in what do you call Azerbaijan. They train people to start riots in Iran. We are aware of everything which is going in the background. I put the people on the listing on the board. They know because they work with us. We put direct requests to Netanyahu for peace talk between Iran and Israel. Netanyahu sent back through his top security officers. We negotiate with anybody for Iran except Mehran, because he'll get it his way at the end. I'll get it my way either way anyway. But maybe some of this pressure is needed to change the position within the Iranian government too. But it will not lead to what they are planning. The pot is getting very heavily loaded in one direction. You will see it. You don't need to tell you. You will see in the old trend has been when a US president gets elected, most of the world leaders go one at a time to Washington. This time they had to pay the Japanese president heavily by the American foreign minister, if you look the week before, just to get him into Washington, that the new administration is accepted. And when you see the posture between the two, it speaks a huge languages. Japan is the master. You paid us to be here. We are here for photo shoot. Just watch the news. How many world leaders you've seen? The Brazilian, the Mexican president even refused to go to meet. There is a very big problem, not only with their behavior attitude, there is a huge problem in the American administration because of the First Lady of United States. Her past, many wife of the presidents would not like to be seen next to. This is the biggest problem which is kept away from their presence. She has a past which is tainted, and a lot of wives of presidents would not like to stand next to one. This is one of the major problems with the present administration. You see it, and you'll see in a lot of the dinners, there is a very, very clear standing apart. It's nothing to do with outside politics, it's the way the present First Lady has stood in the past in her life. It's discussed, we hear it, I've spoken with security people of a couple of governments say, with this we are not, we can get the president going, but we can't get the wife going. What do you want us to do? Would you like another woman of the same to stand next to another president? The rumors starts with our president. There's a huge problem in that administration. They can't plan a war, because the war they can plan, the only war is planned is by Israel against Iran. And I said in the conversation, maybe Netanyahu had a bad time with the Iranian girl somewhere down the line, that's where the hatred comes from. And so it covered a point. But we'll have to see.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Mr. Cash, this is Lucy from China.
Hi Rudy, how are you? Thank you very much for your hard work. I'm aware of it.
Thank you so much for bringing this so beautiful technology, and I want to contribute more to our people and to the foundation, and I would love that. And I want to show you some beautiful pictures from Yunnan team of the GANs, and I'll try to ask you how it became this color and this shape. It's a little bit, it's beautiful, but it's hard to explain. So we want
Let
to
me stop sharing, then you can come
okay.
in. Share, please.
Yeah. This is the GANs of CH3. It's in a dark light, and they just take this picture. And my question is that why the GANs puckles can form this kind of shapes? Maybe
you have to look at what is outside this. We've seen
because
this.
he said nothing. Because at that time, you see, this picture taken in 2014. And
Doesn't
no
matter. Well, let me explain. Let me explain. This shows a clear connection of fields. But you have to see, is this from a cross section of a plate? This is how the solar system works. I've seen this before. It's the field interaction in the environment outside and central pressure inside. If you look at some of the center points, they have the same kind of a structure, but we see from inside up. If you look at the edges, the outside the ring, it looks like a flames. This is what we see on the surface of this. This is how the fields balance each other. Some of these is one single plasma. Most of them are single plasma. If you mix ganses and look at these kind of pictures and then start putting different ganses around it in different shape or form, you see they change pattern. This is, you have to look at where it was done, in what container, in what cross section, and what else was around it. There is something which we notice, a lot of people are taking these electronic data or pictures with a high resolution, electronic microscopes or whatever. These machines carry huge current through them in a high level or low level, and they interact with your work. They are partially dictating the shape. But it's beautiful. I've seen this one. This is very much look like the operation of the, what do you call it, the center of a solar system. You have a very center separation. These are all magravity positioning. And most of them are a single GANs attached and within. It's pulled inwards because of the gravitational field forces, and then on that boundary of the bright light is the magnetical which is done. This here, let me see if I can use this, I can show you what it is. Here, this ring here is the boundary balance between magnetical and gravitational. This is totally magnetical. And then you have to understand the ratio of the surface. Here is different ratio than here. So if you go by ratio mass of the surface, you find out you're giving much more, and in turn you receive higher fields in the center. This is the surface of the Earth, if you look at it, where gravitational magnetic mass is the same, is in balance. This is what we call 1G, and you can create it anywhere.
Yes, that's so beautiful. And I have some others. And
let me clean up. Let me clean up that. The
Thank
picture don't get superimposed.
From the first to the last. Okay, this one. Yeah, this is the with nano coated copper and copper, and this copper is come from the electricity wire, and maybe it's not so pure, but it's so different. Is that you see the GANs? It's not a particles. It's like a crystallized, and you see at the beginning is like this, and
You see
later,
on the top is amino acid.
yes, it's amino acid. A lot
The
of
top is
amino acid.
amino acid. What is inside is monoatomic plasma. I was showing in the factory yesterday to our people. We have a number of tanks producing copper connected to different power supply. And I just changed, they were all green and gorgeous like this. And then I just changed one of the power supplies current. And then suddenly within minutes, the box became reddish. And then texture changed. We could see flows of amino acid and the rest of it. And somebody walked in the office because we are one of the guys. He said, "This is the water which I get from my my groundwater, and it's full of iron. I've taken it to the research lab, and they say it's only iron in it." And I said, "He said, can you help me to get rid of this iron in the water?" And he came to me. Hold on, I've been looking for this. So we set up a box with the water he brought in with iron in it. We have put a zinc plate and we put a nano-coated copper plate, and I can produce blood out of the water. CH3, which has its own growth, because now these iron particles from the water well are part of the structure of the water. I don't need to put a nail inside. And we are looking to see how much blood we can create. And what condition is needed to create the blood, because now I don't need to put a nail in, it's in the structure. So would I create a thick blood? I don't know. Would I create a thin blood? I don't know. But we will see it. This is the first time we had the opportunity. So every experiment you do, look at the conditions and the environment. And see why. As we saw a couple of weeks ago, somebody was showing us a picture and they said, "Oh, there is a white material." We noticed the bottle next door had zinc in it, so you're producing two materials. Always learn when you see a container even like this. Now that you know you passed the world of matter, look beyond the bottle, beyond this water container. See what else is sitting around. Because the field interaction has a say in what's happening here. If you have another bucket of copper and zinc next door, or a nano-coated copper and non-nano-coated copper, you're releasing certain availability of the amino acid which this container can absorb at its strength. So you produce a lot of amino acid in one, but the shape stays at a low level copper oxide. Try to look at the environment than the object. Then it gives you a very good idea of how the environment has created the object or the condition you see. What is this one?
This is the GANs after they wash it, and you see it's always crystallized. There's no particles, no nanoparticles.
Yes, this is a fast production of gases.
It's from this bowls.
Yeah, it's a fast production. You have to see how fast they produced it. The production of the structured dry gas behavior, I've seen this before. We see this especially in CO2. containers you see, like calcium blocks or CO2 blocks at the end. You have to see how with the time it was created, what condition, what voltage, what current, what was around it.
There's no current. They just.
Yes, there is a current. You don't see it, but you connected the two plates somewhere or the wires. There is a current flow of the plasma.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your support with the medical side.
Yeah, I want to announce, show you a case that also our E19, they announced the cure a patient with lung cancer just only with CO2 gas. So this is the examining report. Before they use the gas, and even this lady had tried chemotherapy, and but it doesn't work, and they take 1 or 2 months CO2 gas, CO2 water, and also breathe the air from the humidifier, and drink water, take a bath, and just 1 or 2 months, lady is covered, and he just showed that the cancer decreased, and didn't feel pain, and it became normal.
Yeah, you got to realize a lot of people, you just look at, you say you produce or use CO2. This is what I keep on explaining, is that when you produce CO2, because of the way you produce CO2, in some cases you just don't produce CO2. Depending on how you connected it, you produce certain amount of zinc oxide with it. And you find out CO2 works very effectively with the presence of zinc oxide if the cancer is emotional. It does the same. You satisfy the emotion, you change the environment. We've seen that before. So when you put CO2 on it, or use of the CO2, you can add a little bit of zinc on it if it is what I call emotional cancer. In satisfying, elevating the emotion, the condition, the environment of the body changes, that cancer cell cannot exist. In some cases we see that, and we see a lot of this, especially in China. In China, we've seen results even 3-4 years ago. Reduction in tumor by 80%, 70% use of the CO2 patches. But you need to understand the other part of it. This what you show me, yes, quite possible. But behind it is somehow where the cancer was and what was the initial origin of it. If it's the emotional side, you satisfy it, you change the environment.
Can you send that to the testimonial site, please?
Pardon?
Testimonial?
Can you send that to the testimonial site? Yeah, so me and Rick can take care of it.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
And I have another question about, you mean the for the cancer caused by the emotion, and is that the energy healing is helpful for that part? Because from my point of view, the energy healing is help to for our, emotion body, and is that the same theory?
Partially yes, but with the GANs you decide. The body decides. You have no say in it. Body decides if he wants to take it or not.
Okay, and also because some Chinese patients, they want to do the injection in China for the cancer test.
I have authorized it today.
Yeah, that's a very great news for us. So people don't need to go to Ghana.
No, we have regionalized now. People don't need to come to Ghana. We have make different regions, different doctors are taking over to administer and to see the trial through. In Ghana, we handle the Ghanaian situation. In Africa, if anybody wants to come here. But now, if you are in Europe or in America or in Australia or in Asia or in Middle East, we're trying to find a way that you can stay. There are a number of doctors in China who work with the Work Application Foundation. You need to find them or get them to organize it, and then we have made a site or a link especially for the doctors who work with the injections. They can communicate to see results. We had some the oddity in the past couple of weeks, which we went back to Tokyo, they sorted it out. So there is no problem. We can supply the injections to China, and that will, we can start immediately. Then the class will send the procedure out.
Okay, that's so great.
We can immediately, next 7 days, dispatch the material to the doctors, and or we can find a way to get the way that you have people who understand the technology. We don't need the normal doctors. The doctors who work with the technology, there's a pattern of work you can do to see what it is. We had a case and other cases, we look at each one if we can do or not. In Ghana, we look at the African side of the work, if there is here and we can do. And the, what do you call it, I was shown a cancer case this week with a very big lump on the head, and they said, can you do anything with this one? So if we can work here, we can do work with it, we do. But the rest of the world, China, if you have doctors, we can get you the injections.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Mr. Cash.
To speak to Klaus, we cleared this today, yesterday. We want to know what the cancer is, and then we advise the doctor who's doing it how to do it.
Yeah, I will collect all the data and translate it to Dr. Klaus so that he will get everything.
Doesn't matter how many, we can support as many as you like, and then we can organize for you to receive the injections more or less very rapidly. You're just across the water for us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Would you like to show the pictures of the nano material, Rick, we were talking about before the teaching?
Yes, I believe John has that actually, and I think I've got some other ones. I'll have to look them up though. But John, are you there? Can you fetch them?
Can we get Ruthie to stop sharing the screen, please?
Hello, John Anderson. Are you there now? Oh, there he is. Yes, indeed. There's the screen. So this was John. I don't know if you're able to speak there. I think that was at 150 magnification, or 120 perhaps. I'll try to unmute you.
There we go. Okay, I got it. I just lost everything for a second. This is a 120 times magnification of a nano copper plate that I plated in a long-term system. It took about 3 weeks to do the nano coating. And what I find interesting about it is the patterns. When we saw the electromicrographs some time ago, I think they were too close, and all we saw was a crystalline structure. We couldn't see any sort of a pattern in this. But this, because it's not quite so close, the diameter of this on the plate would have been about 2 millimeters, about a 2 millimeter circle. And one thing I notice is a similarity to photographs of the sun. The sun is a free plasma, unfettered plasma that can do as it pleases. And as we create the nano coating over the long term, I believe it will adjust itself to this this plasma field. Like Mr. Kesh was describing earlier, the fractal nature of the plasma fields. I think this demonstrates, looking at this and then comparing it to the sun, we can sort of see that demonstration of the fractal nature. We can see pathways. There's a pathway here. There's patterns within this, and I think it's very, very interesting. I don't know what we can do with it other than recognize that we do have a plasmatic interaction as we create these fields, and it's going to reflect whatever plasma flow excuse me, is in the area. I took a small section of this. This is not the native resolution. This is scaled down to fit your screen. This is the native resolution. The diameter of this picture is approximately 1/4 millimeter. So it's significantly larger, but it looks very much like the photographs we see of the surface of the sun, reflecting the interactions and the plasmatic flows that we see, and it's frozen in that nano coating. At least that's the way I view it. That's the way I see it. Perhaps I'm not seeing it correctly. Oh, no noise now.
I'm still here.
Well, there we go.
Mr. Kesh is probably there in the background.
I just all of a sudden it got really quiet, and I thought, "Oh, am I offline? What happened?"
Thanks for pondering that. It does very much look like the surface of the sun, the vortexes and turbulence that we see, especially with the images that are special frequencies and so on that they generate nowadays.
Yeah. Now that I have the equipment to be able to take these photographs, I'm going to be looking at fast nanocoating, very slow nanocoating, nanocoating that's been used, and see if I can see if there's changes within this structure that we're seeing these patterns.
Try putting your fingerprint in it and see what happens. Does it crush the structure or does it change it?
Exactly. And if we on the energy systems, if we have a plasmatic flow through this nano coating in a specific direction, do we see that reflected in these patterns? Does it change these patterns to correspond with the flow? I'm
yes,
hoping
it does. Flint, can I come in, John? This is the reason, if you go back to the original teachings, and I always say to the people here in the factory, this is the reason that I always said, when you take the plates out of caustic, or when you empty the water of the caustic, immediately put a voltmeter on one end and follow all the plates in the same direction. This is the reason. You homogenize and you unify the direction of the flow. Each layer will take its position accordingly. So yes, it does. The positioning, the structure, what you show us by allowing the current, because now when you have a nano structure material, the molecular structure is not tight anymore. They're sitting like balls with a distance from each other. When you connect the electric current to it, you touch the bottom layer, the matter state of it, and in that you switch everything in one direction. So when you look at the picture you're showing, is very beautiful the way it is, but goes back on the emphasis of you left it randomly. But if you connect just your voltmeter in a way of...
Mr. Kesh, to be clear, you mentioned connecting it to power, but you said in the past it's actually a draining process, I think.
Yeah, the power is the battery inside the voltmeter. That's all it is.
Well, when you're taking a voltage reading, you're not putting power into the system.
No. You just
you
realign the layers.
Yes.
And you mentioned one time that putting power into it would tend to fluff up the layers too much, whereas draining it would tend to collapse them or make them nice uniform layers.
Depends what you needed. It's horses for courses. What do you want to do with the nanomaterial?
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah. So
when you put the power on it, you realign it. and you see these channels on sometime on the very, very fluffy nano layers, you see the channels of the nano layers.
So by draining these plates, I don't know if it would show up on this magnification or not, but I would tend to think that instead of being kind of a random swirling pattern, we would see a direction through this. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Because you got to realize, you got to look at it 3-dimension. What you see as a layer from experiment or understanding we have is about 30 to 50,000 layers minimum before you can see a full nano layer, nano dark black material. So each layer has to have its direction horizontally, and it has to have its direction vertically. So plates sit in the vertical zigzagging. You understand? Okay. So in how fast you do it, I used to, I don't do much research nowadays, but I used to put positive on one end, just keep on one, and if there are, let's say, 10 plates on the, or 10 items on the hook, just touch them one by one. You see it all line up. I used to do, like, you know, you dry clothes, I used to hang things on the rack and just keep on one end and touch the items one by one. And you realign it. It needs to be done. And a lot of people I see, they say, my nanomaterial or your coating or my power supply doesn't work. I ask a single question. In the rush of making the coil, did you make the touch? Did you put a voltmeter across? You have a confused layer. How do you expect it to give power?
Right. Yeah, for clarity's sake, for those that are viewing this, the dark areas on this plate, they are in a three-dimensional sense, they are deeper into the layer, and the bright sections are up on top of the surface. So you can now visualize the up and down portion of this. And that is the plate. This it's this area right here that I did my the picture on, just so you can see where it came from. But thank you. That's evident or food for more thought, and lots of things that I can work with. And I'll try to get some more pictures up. I'm hoping that with this magnification, we should be able to see alignment and see the pathways forming within the system. And if I can get the camera to sit stable, I might actually be able to get a video of that. So we'll try that and see what we come up with. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. What will be interesting, even with what we saw with the pictures from China, is how we can develop systems or fields that we can pull or push certain part of a GANS container material. So if, for example, you can attract to bring a layer up or layer down, and how we can connect it that all the layers behave different in respect to each other. The game play with the GANS materials has never started. None of you have gone to that extent to see how positioning of GANSes affect each other. Now with the space technology teaching, we need to do. We need to understand, and we need to be able to comprehend what we can do. What are the opportunities we have with this material? What can we create? We are working in part with the scientists, as I said before, in field of farming. And very interesting, we put CO2 on the tree. We put a mixture of the zinc oxide and CH3 on the roots. What environment do we create? Because it's not a water anymore. Would this environment allow other animals to live? Can we put different kind of GANSes in different parts to see the changes in the growth. Can we decide one side of the tree will produce more fruit by playing with the strength of the ganses? It's a huge opportunity. It's a huge environment, because this is how you fly in a space, how you find weaknesses to dip in and submerge. It's not just for seeing it, because that way, if you understand it, you can make one side coming up, you take off, you land, you submerge, you emerge. These are all is part of the understanding. Do all the ganses of certain layer end up in a different position in the gans? Do the top layer take position on the boundary? Do the ones which are more closest to the matter side layers, do they become to the center? These are all the bits which we learn, we'll see. We need to develop a visual system for the behavior of gans in 3 dimensions. How do they move? How do they position themselves? It's a boiling system which ends up with a higher strength to go in the center. Or is it the plasma which dictates from outside what is held in the center? And the development of the hydrogen gans is a major step. You got to understand, we don't teach it publicly, and we try to avoid teaching it publicly because it's very, very controversial in its use and application on the defense and military. With
Mr. Kesh,
yes.
sorry, Vivek here. Can I just very quickly ask a question about the aligning process? Right now I have a Magrav's coil that is sitting in the drying process just after the steaming. I have the wire that's connected to the magnetical lead of the Magrav's coil grounded to a copper pipe. Would that cause a different condition, or would it be okay for the draining process as well?
Yeah, different condition.
Different condition.
So
would it be ideal, or should I go back to
well, it depends how you realign it through the what I call of the layers, which I use a voltmeter. You can create a loop that everything will have one direction.
Yep. In fact, right now what I've done is I've left the wire connected to the gravitational lead free to air, and only the wire that's connected to the magnetical lead is grounded. So I'm trying to create the directionality in that way.
You can. There's no reason why not. But everything has to be in that direction.
Okay, no problem. I'll give it a try. I'll give you a report on that.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
Mr. Kesh, I can show you quickly a video that I took earlier today with a rotating GANS ball with some interesting GANS rings that formed. So maybe we can have a look at that.
Go on, have a look. Share, please.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so the setup here is a GANS ball that you see in the top there, and it's in a lathe. That ball is about a 6-inch diameter ball, fairly large ball, and it's rotating at around 1,000 RPM to 2,000 RPM in this test. And I'll just run the video of it here. Okay, we've got a very interesting GANS ball here with 6 rings separated apparently by what looks to be water or the other It's hard.
Yeah, I don't think you shared sound, Rick.
Well, I did, but it might be very low because of the sound of the unit running that's running the microphone. Let me try it again, though. I'll try to stop it and restart it. I do believe that it was sharing, though. Let me try again here. Just put that back. Okay. Try it again. There we go. And leave the volume up more. Maybe that'll make a difference.
No,
Sounds
yeah,
good.
it's just low on the video.
Yeah, I'll try to turn it up for the live stream. But it's and this is the idea. Maybe I can. Pardon me.
Yeah, maybe explain it while it's playing.
Yeah, basically it's. I'll just even turn the audio down a bit. It's hard to hear, but it's 6 GANs rings that have formed. I was actually attempting to form four GANs rings, but 6 formed in this particular orientation, and I haven't seen that before with a definite gap in between each ring where it's clear, relatively clear, in between each of the rings themselves. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I think that's because it's on the horizontal plane rather than the vertical plane, as most of the GANs balls are. So
I did this a couple years ago with the Jupiter configuration on vertical, and it was still the same.
You could have individual rings with a gap in between, with clear liquid in between.
That's right.
Okay, well, I thought that was interesting in terms of the control. I had to do a special way to get these. It wouldn't just do it normally. Hit the start up and rev it up and then let it go back down for a while and sort of play with it to get that to form, which you'll see as I get out of the way here and try changing the RPM and so on. And just a few RPMs difference totally changes the structure. And another thing that happens is the caps on each side of this globe, it starts to form a cap actually on each side, which is a little unusual. I didn't tend to notice that before on the vertical GANs balls. They just would form a ring, normal GANs rings, without this this cap effect on each side. You can't see it so clearly there now, but I think a little further on maybe we can with the light changed better. So with the cap on each end, it gives an opportunity for a polarity, a gradient between one cap and the other. It's kind of, I found it a little odd the way the GANs behaved in this horizontal configuration, I guess, was the thing about it. And now I'm able to form 4 rings instead of the 6 that were original and so on. Anyway, that's it for that little video. Just wanted to show that there's a form of control there. You can control how many rings are being generated. And then with this setup, it's possible to actually enter into the sphere with a needle or another probe and touch those rings or extract or add to them with materials in order to further control the rings and the effect of all that. Anyway, okay, that's it on that.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else, or we can call it a day? It's nearly 3:30.
Yes, we're getting some feedback here happening.
Okay, if there is anything else, we can.
Sorry, there was one question from Wang King, Chinese, I believe, who had a question on carbon GANs. Maybe we can quickly get that in before we end things here. Would that be okay, Mr.?
Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Wang King, can you ask your question? It's on the carbon GANs. Okay, I see. You're the one that's having trouble with the audio, I believe. Your microphone.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, thank you. Hello, Mr. Cash.
Hello, go ahead, please.
Hi, hello, Mr. Cash. This is Wang Qing from China, and I would like to ask a question about the carbon GANs, which you are mentioned in previous teaching. And we have some knowledge seekers produce the carbon GANs, and it shows a black color. So we would like to know how can we identify it is the carbon GANs, because in your teaching you are talking about use the figure to touch the material and it shows the black. But so do we only use this way to identify the GANs, carbon GANs?
I don't understand what you're trying to say. GANs of carbon can even be white. It's not just is carbon, it'll be black. You can create carbon GANs which is actually black, is white too. But this is in producing the GANs of carbon, depending on its orientation, it gives you the color you see. Some of the, when you produce a lot of carbon GANs, pure carbon, if you turn it into some lights, you will see them shining in between. Then they show themselves sometimes as a grayish color GANs. Then if you disturb it and or change the field around it, they change orientation and the color. This is one of the beauties with carbon, because if you remember carbon, you write with it. If you create a certain different pressures on it, it becomes diamond and transparent and everything else. So if you produce the GANs of it very rapidly, you end up most probably seeing blocks of GANs, of nanomaterial of carbon. With carbon, you have to be very, very careful, because in itself, it creates the property and the illusion of different materials.
Okay, so the color is not only the black and with the
No,
white or gray,
no.
greenish. Okay. So
Yeah,
several,
it's a reflection of the fields around the container too. If you have, I've done this, you tested, I did this in a way originally because, as you know, I used to be in different kind of exposure of the technology. At that time, I wanted to see if you can produce different colored diamonds from graphite. And it was successful. You can actually produce from graphite different colored diamonds if you can make it pure enough. And when I showed this one in 2006, 2005 to members of Diamond Bourse, I showed how you can produce different colored GANs or diamonds according to the way of producing the nanomaterial. The Russians have, I've explained this before, but I'll go a bit deeper. Russians have developed a technology on the back of what we developed years ago, a system that they buy very, very cheap diamonds, even African diamonds, very cheap with a lot of impurity in it. And they create a plasmatic condition vacuum, which transfers the monoatomic structure of impurities inside the diamond outside. And suddenly diamond has no more black dark material in it. So you extract the graphite without drilling it, without doing anything with it. But in that process of extracting monoplasmatic carbon from the center of the, or from the diamond itself, from the stone, it leaves a residual GaNs mixture that is creating new color diamonds, which we've never seen before. So if you know the level of the impurity, very minute impurity in high temperature popping of the carbon to become diamond, can give you different color diamond. And if, for example, you cut that point of the gas or impurity from the diamond, diamond becomes clear diamond. Suddenly you lose. I've seen this happening in diamond bores. People come up with a pink diamond, they cannot find the mother in a way, the gas point, and the diamond cutter, in just cutting by accident, touches the point of the impurity or the gas, and the diamond becomes clear. And there's a lot of controversy. You stolen my diamond, this is not what I gave you. It was pink, it was bluish, blah blah. So in trying to use a plasma technology vacuum space condition, Russians have actually patented this. They extract, they understood that the impurity in the center of the diamond is plasmatic, more or less GaNs condition. And they have created a vacuum condition which extracts this. It's literally what they do in our medical side, taking the center of the seed of the tumor out. And in that process, because it has to go through a matter state of the diamond, it leaves residual gas condition of the carbon itself again, and we see beautiful, beautiful colors of diamonds, which I was asked by diamond bores, can you explain how is this coming, how these new colors are coming into operation in diamond? And I explained to them in a few minutes, this is what they have achieved through the patents they had in their hand. So you have still the same carbon, but as it goes through the matter state or matter condition on the boundary, relieves a small gas or compounds of plasma, which the light, the reflection of the light into the stone creates new color. So the same thing happens in your plasma. You can have different GaNs colors according to the compression of the fields around the GaNs itself. This is more or less, that's why we have a red copper oxide, blue copper oxide, greenish blue copper oxide, or a black copper oxide. It's no different.
Okay, so what machine can we use to test the GaNs if not in the professional institute? Just you mentioned, okay.
This is exactly going back into what I said earlier on. It's one of the things which we were discussed very recently, is setting up the Spaceship Institute Center Research is to develop systems for this. We were talking with the FDA and the Standard Board management past couple of days. They said we need to develop that we can say, okay, this water is a strength of copper, but how much of it do we need? This water, now we have a water, you tell us zinc in it or copper in it, and we have to accept it because we see the result. We need to develop machinery, systems that we can measure the strength. Which strength is good for what? And how much of it? This is what this new research center which we are building will develop new technologies for that. We have to do. It's become necessary to develop technologies
to measure, to quantify, and doesn't exist. In the near future, hopefully we'll be able to do it.
So if there's a professional machine need to be is required, does it block the technology broadcast the technology spent in the normal people? I mean, even a very junior or a wife in the kitchen can produce the reactor, right? But they cannot identify if what they produce is the correct carbon gas or hydrogen gas. If they want to produce a small or minor reactor or spaceship, how can they use the core? I mean, the gas. This is the key point.
Yeah, the thing is, we need it in so many ways for different applications. We see it, what you're asking, what you're saying is 100% right. It has to become household measuring system. I receive the water, I'm going to give my children the taste of orange today. They don't like to drink orange, they don't like to eat fruit, but now I give them the range of the fruit. Now they receive what they need. They don't like vegetables. Or is this what I want? Do I want to taste beef in this water, but I like to have a chicken? We have to. It's becoming necessary. We have brought a new technology. We have to make tools for it. As I said in the discussion we had, X-rays have been here for a long time. You know, because we built the machine, now we had to measure it, and now we need to measure plasma. It's become necessary, and I'm sure in the next few months and years, technologies will be spent that way to develop these things. But it's time. It's a new. It's just coming off the board. Come to Ghana as scientists in what you see, not to waste time, but to develop the next step of instrumentation, plasma instrumentation, new ways of doing things that we can put across the world to everyone else to do, and we'll see where we go. We thank all the people who support us heavily in Ghana and across the world, but now we have a center, we have a base where we can do research in developing, and Ghana is as good as anywhere else. We have the nuclear center, we have atomic center, we have research centers well established to European standard, so why not? I went to see a laboratory for water desalination in south of Italy. I was invited by the chancellor of Bari University a couple of years ago, and they were showing what they brought, and they took me across the Ghana Standard Board laboratories, and I see the same machinery. The same thing is the same standard. So here we have European standard machinery, but we need others which was never needed here. Now we have to develop. There is a need to develop a plasma measuring system. We have no choice.
Okay, and so I have another question.
You have to ask President Xi to facilitate it faster. Those
of course, it is our
background. Those are sitting in the background, Chinese community listening, they know what we are talking about. This needs the Chinese government support directly from inside, a very high level. The Western world is so poor, does not have the money to support. In China is one of the nations who can support development of this technology, and they get benefited by it.
Maybe it's our China team's responsibility to push it again, a strong push the development. And I have another question is related about the concept of the identify about the GaNs, nano, plasma, and carbon and graphite. So which one is in the plasma field, plasma state, and which one is still in the metal state?
All of them are. Matter is a plasma itself, but it's at different strength. You do some tests, you can see it very, very clearly. If you have made gases, for example, of CH3,
and you see the black spots on the bottom, you just put a magnet underneath of it. If they rotate very vigorously, these are not nanomaterial, they are iron particles. But you have some nanomaterials who, by field forces, get interacted and move, but they move in a different way than iron moves. Get the iron dust, for example, and get some nano CH3 with what you get at the bottom, metal, and see how they behave in respect to the same motion, the speed of rotation of the magnet. You produce everything, as you have to decide it, and the only way is the GANS material, the way we see it when you produce a GANS of carbon. If you pick the top from the top of the fluff over the GANS, and you use a plastic glove, you see it doesn't leave any black impression on the glove. It just slides like a fish. If you go to the bottom of the pile and pick up and massage your finger in it and just bring it out, you see black spots on the glove, which shows there is graphite and graphene at the bottom. The top doesn't. It's the only way I find it changes, especially with graphite and with the ganses. When you have a fluff of the GANS on the top, just put your hand in it and play with it. It will not make the glove black, it's just to create a space gap. But when you have the nanomaterial and you have the graphite, you see even different color and different texture when you touch it. At the moment, it's the only way we can do until we develop equipment for it.
Thank you, Ms. Go ahead.
Not yet finished. Okay, sorry. We are talking about the different strands between them. They all are in plasma state. If we produce the carbon GANs, and how about the graphite GANs or carbon GANs or nano state? So I mean, is graphite in the nano state or carbon are in mono atom, right?
Both you have. In the carbon you have both. Depends if you use the graphite sticks or did you use the zinc and copper and then you separated the oxygen from it, or did you use the copper on its own? There is a fair amount of GANs of CO2 in copper oxide, quite a lot of it, but you don't see it because the ratio is too vast. You see, if you put your hand in a copper oxide at the bottom and touch it, you see that you get black marks on your gloves. You say, where did it come from? This is only copper. But if you look, there are some isotopes of copper which are near the zinc, and you have a copper plate and a zinc plate now, and then they convert in CO2, but the oxygen transformation is not there. You get a pure copper carbon at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Same to you. Shall we call it a day?
Sure. Yes, sure, Mr. Kesh. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Don't forget, please, now that we have launched the construction of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute and the World Council and Universal Council, what we call the establishment of the medical center and the rest, this all goes back on our shoulder if we want to see this to be developed. It's not that if we are going, we're doing it, but this beyond the understanding that if we allow governments to come in to do it, then they dictate the way and then we go back on the same track. If we do it and the way we carry the agency of the foundation, when there is a conflict, as just been said, between Iran and America, they're planning, invite them on the table of peace in Ghana, on the table of the Universal Council, invite them on the table of the World Council and say, what's the grievances? Why? What is to be satisfied? We have come a long way, and we are on the first stage of becoming truly a space community. But these are the
instruments we have to set up that we can work through it to bring it in. No African nation believes in the United Nations. No Middle Eastern nation except Israel believes in the work of the United Nations because it only directs to one state. The rest are ignored. The same goes with Asia. So as one guy said, we set the United Nations up for a white cloud, the rest to follow. We do the killing and we organize the killing. Let's bring peace in the right way through ways of introducing new technologies. And that's the only salvation we have. Time to change with the new technology, maybe a new way of living. Thank you very much for today. Hopefully next week we'll be able to learn more from each other. Thank you, Derek.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kesh. And that'll be the ending of the 159th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for February 15th, 2017. And thanks to everyone for your questions and contributions today. Okay, I'll end the live stream. And we'll wait just a minute to end the Zoom meeting here for the YouTube and other channels.